It's tabletop time!
And I'm Rob. I play Brick. Brick is a Phelan Cool bodyguard, and he's also a slave. And he's recently had his ownership transferred to a terrible person and been charged with the protection of our party, much to a bit of a internal moral conflict with himself.
I'm Jazzer. I'm the narrator of this campaign, and I also play Ainsley, my favourite character. That's all I have to say about that.
And I'm Dave,
Jen,
and I'm playing Delvin. And Delvin is a bit of a pain in the ass.
Who's going through a
100%
lot
the
of
most
emotional
likely
trauma
to get
right now,
himself
but is ready to
killed
kick
with his
some butt.
smart ass mouth.
That was amazing. I'm so proud of you both.
Thank you. Not for me for not fucking it up this time.
Proud of you.
It must be really hard to be that succinct. Do you guys both have a script written down on bloody World Animals?
That's
What's going on?
That's
That's a good
right.
idea.
Because that
Got
makes
us.
those impromptu moments when you need to act on the fly easy and reactive. So you can be ready for your plays if you're running a game. Or if you're in the game, be ready to bloody play.
I want to know how many moons your world has as well.
How many moons does your world have?
Yep, 3.
How many moons does your world
How many
have?
moons does your world have?
Just
How
one.
many does Sunder
I'm
have?
pretty
Just one?
vanilla. I can only
Okay.
focus on
Does
a
it only
few
have
things
one
at a
sun?
time. Yes.
Oh.
But actually, that isn't the level of detail I've gone into. But I have gone into some level of detail. You can check out my World Anvil World for Sunder for all the behind-the-scenes nitty-gritty and details by going to tabletoptime.com/Sunder. Check out the timelines, check out the maps, check out a whole bunch of stuff that's been slowly added to over time, including some creatures that our players one day might meet. But if you want to check out World Anvil, we can't recommend it enough. You can go to worldanvil.com, not spelled the way it sounds, worldanvil.com/IRONSPIRE. Get 40% off of all of their year-long memberships, which is their highest level of discount, which is amazing. And they make this session possible because I lean on it all the time. So good for world building. You're going to absolutely love it. Thank you, World Anvil, for sponsoring our campaign.
Thank you.
Speaking of our campaign,
If people read my World Anvil notes in the campaign, let's just say there would be some things that they would learn that they maybe
Really?
wouldn't expect.
what are you hinting at there?
Maybe I'm in my scrapbook. I might have a little bit of a Dear Diary going on. Like, Dear Diary, Catalina was nice to me today.
She didn't slap me.
Brick looked wonderful with the sun gleaming off his musculature.
Thank you.
It's basically these little love hearts. It's great.
I love it.
Mikey made me proud today.
That's
Mikey
so
called
cute.
me dad.
So I guess our brief recap is you guys spent the day back in Cragmouth, and there was a character that in the previous meeting with our new allies, Russell has been sort of pointed out as someone who could be useful. He is a Greyguard captain who is currently on a weird sort of suspension with honours due to a whole bunch of different mishaps. But basically, he was a little too moral, is what you can have gathered, and it's also made him somewhat available to the party. So he's actually started to travel with you guys to basically act as the front man. And he's on board because you guys did a fantastic job of basically convincing him that this is the moral direction, that you're being truthful, that you're working with truthful people, and you're looking to help people.
Well,
I'm going to give you all the Destiny point for our last session's gameplay. Really well done work. Loved the role play that everyone did. Really good strategizing and a lot of fun.
I love that I made sure to use a Destiny point so I could get one back. It's always a good strategy.
It is. Playing well. All right. So our party is in a really sturdily built carriage. I guess we should call it a
Stagecoach.
Stagecoach, thank you.
So people aren't thinking it's a tiny little cat.
No. Pulled by Eggs and Bacon, our trusty horses who have come all the way from Iron Edge and travelling towards IRONSPIRE. Just having left the town of Cragmouth about an hour ago. The pace is starting to pick up. It's a pretty gorgeous day. The sun is not scorching, but it's warm and there's enough of a breeze that people are starting to feel that coastal air coming from the distant spire. But the distant spire doesn't even look all that distant right now. Looks to be about a day's travel. You're leaving around midday and you're going to get there, hopefully while the sun is still up. But the Iron Spire ahead of you looks colossal. Stretches, pierces through the clouds. You can't even see its peak in this morning weather in the drifting clouds. It is huge. So, Russell has been leading the cart, and he sort of looks back with a smirk as momentum is sort of picking up. He sort of pulls the window open, and you can see through a couple of bars. You've all picked up what you're in, haven't you?
Oh, some kind of wanker coach, right?
You're my prisoners.
Oh, right.
I'm just jesting, of course.
Oh, this was he changed the coach, didn't he? We left the
Yeah.
window, so I can't. I didn't make a jab at the coach. 'cause
Everyone roll a perception
I
check.
thought I
Let's,
was in the other coach. I forgot. So Delvin didn't say that, but he would have if he was in the glitter shitter.
Is that the official name
That
of
was
it?
2
No,
for
that's a
Delvin.
critical roll thing.
Yeah.
3 for me. I got 3.
1, 2, 3, 4.
4 for Catalina. And then Brick gets 3. 4. Okay. Catalina and Brick are always right on par with their perceptions. Yeah, Delvin, you figure out like what he's saying pretty quick. There's bars and it's sturdily built. So it's sort of like a little prisoner transport thing, but it doesn't look like any high security thing. It just looks like a robust.
How sturdy we talking?
Very sturdy. You could break it, but
So can I try and bend the bars?
you probably could. It's not like high security, but it's basically drunk troublemakers, bar fight people, like that sort of thing. You know, even the odd, rowdy animal that needs in a pinch to be thrown in something to transport it. It's basically your versatile military transport vehicle. And Catalina or Brick even notice a couple little scratches in the corners from bored people who've been traversed long distances. But seems to be a sort of a town-to-town coach for that purpose. And Russell sort of says, don't take it to heart. It seemed to me the most obvious option to get you as close into the inner cities as possible. Do you know exactly where you're going? Because I don't.
Well, what was the name of the lady that we're after?
Right. Let me get my
Medela's-
notebook.
That's a question for this one.
Medela's auntie?
It's Eladra Shale.
It is Lady Aladra Shale.
Okay. Could I make a...
You certainly could.
Yeah, heck yeah.
So your tradie, the fucking, political thing. Let's say challenge level 3. Oh,
Only 2.
1.
1, sorry. Yeah.
You have a vague idea. You know that there are a couple of walled portions of the city. Your best guess is it's in the middle portion. There's 3 walled sections, sort of like in rings, like a bullseye.
Okay.
The innermost ring are for, true nobility and high council people and old money and their servants and all that stuff.
Okay.
But there's sort of this region full of merchantry and ambassadors. And your suspicion would be somewhere in that area will be some sort of embassy housing for the Phelan and various other different cultures and towns and regions.
Okay. Well, perhaps we should check there and ask around when we get in.
All right, sounds like a plan. Didn't we have our little friends? They were going to meet us there, right, and give us a pointer. Someone over there. Or am I remembering that incorrectly?
I think you're remembering that incorrectly.
Oh, right.
They were going to have someone meet you at the end of this period to provide a replica thing.
Correct.
But that was the only time you have booked to meet or interact.
At the
interact with them.
Glimmering Flask Inn, I believe.
Oh.
On the 6th day, which
I
is kind
really shouldn't have hit those drinks so hard last night. Oh my, I'm a bit
Okay, I
scrambled.
write these things down, don't worry.
Right. I'm not fit to handle a pen, so I guess we just wing it then? That doesn't seem like the most sensible approach.
Well, perhaps Brick might be able to help. I mean, she might know who he is.
I mean,
Just for full clarity here, Brick was her protector. So she would most likely know who she is, and he definitely knows who she is.
he's also her property, right? So that's got to be an inn of some description.
Well, surely.
What do you think, Brick?
If that is the option we need to take to get entry, then I am willing to do that.
So you're thinking one of the embassy districts. If I'm going to pull this in any place that you have some sort of way of stepping out without being too obvious, I think it would probably be some sort of holding place for, rabble-rousers.
Well,
Which, frankly, if you're avoiding eyes, might also have to be accommodation.
Right. That sounds terrible. I'm quite good at discreetly slipping into populations, and I'm sure I could make my way.
or perhaps we can barter our way through
Right.
if necessary.
Yes, and once we're in and past the guards, surely we can get out and, I don't know.
Depends how concerned you are about drawing eyes. I mean, like you said in our previous meeting, Barrow and Fail and Cool and a Thanisian traveling together is certainly an odd sight. So
Yes.
even in a large city, that sort of thing might spark rumors. But
Well, I guess we can hold up in a straight hole until we're all good to go, but...
Or we travel separately
Oh,
once in town.
that sounds dangerous, I
Yeah.
guess.
Yeah.
I'm more worried about you two than me.
Well, let's just play it by ear. We have a vague understanding and plan of what we want to do.
All right, all right.
so, as Catalina has in the past, day, been mucking around with this new doohickey she has, she's sensed a few little things as she's becoming familiar with it. So should she decide to muck around with it again on this long journey, which I'm assuming
Yeah, probably
would be
gonna
the case,
happen. Yeah.
I'm going to just bring to the fore that as you're becoming familiar with this item, all of these schools of magic have a skill that they can assist. So
Okay.
you having 2 points in fire magic through the ring can assist endurance with magic. So you actually have some practical usage for this, even if you can't wield spells. The other thing I should say too is all these schools of magic have a singular spell that's basically a harnessing spell. So like you have read emotions, Delvin has sort of like a detect magic. This spell is sort of like a capture flame. So I'm going to say as you start practicing with the flint and steel, you're able to start holding this spark. To the point where, and this isn't, obviously you haven't even had it 24 hours, but very quickly you start to notice the awareness of this thing that you conjure is something you can hold still.
Okay.
And that's it at the moment. But that's enough to start stretching that very small muscle.
Okay. All right.
You're a whiz with that thing, Kat.
Hidden talent, I suppose.
Right. Well, you've always had a way with magic.
Yeah.
What does Brick do on the long journey?
This
I'm assuming because we're surrounded by bars, I can see outside, so I'd probably just be observing people, finding out what reaction I'm getting, being in a cage and being an oddity more than anything. Where's my weapon?
We wouldn't have let it go.
Would have been a cage. Would they have given me my weapon in a cage?
What are you talking about?
We're in a fully.
You're in a
we're
carriage.
I
wagon.
thought you said we're prisoners in a carriage.
No, he was joking.
Prisoners.
So it's like
But
there's a
it's-
lock on the door and it's a prisoner
Well,
train.
then, yeah, I have my weapon. All right.
Yeah.
That's my bad.
It's like a
Okay.
prison bus, but everyone's
It's a
got their
little more
handcuffs
cooped
on.
up than the other one. It's not built for comfort. But yeah, no, you have all your belongings for
Yeah,
sure.
okay, cool.
Okay.
It's much nicer.
So as the journey sort of progresses, Russell's, and you always maybe get the sense that he's doing this in the same way that he did with the horses when he was like loading up the cart. He was sort of seeking out their temperament, just sort of getting to know them. And he starts fielding questions that seem to you to be a little more the same thing, less like really good with people and more like, how can I best understand how they function? You know what I mean? Barrowan, you quite fiery from the conversations that we've had and the brief ones we've had on the road. What do you find you're most interested in when you're not, fighting the good fight?
I'd say I'm one of those pretty dedicated to the job sort of people, but I guess if you were to pick my vice, it would be fine food and a fine bed.
I see.
I enjoy a good show. I haven't had a good show in a while.
There's not a lot out in the western regions.
No, but every now and then there's, something comes in from the Phelan lands, or back in the days back at Felton, but wasn't common. But every now and then you'd see something, some street performer that you haven't seen anything like of. That and a good beer.
I do have memories of a traveling circus or two in my youth. Come to think of it, when you describe that, I can't imagine that would have been in the Barrowin areas.
Oh no, I think they were Phelan. Maybe, I don't know.
What region did you grow up in?
Oh, I grew up in the Barrows, but once I got out of there, I was trading a lot between Felton and the Barrows, back and forth, making my money. Making profit off prosperity, I guess.
Very good, man of industry. Catalina, was it?
Yes.
How did you happen upon this far reach away from Thenicia?
I guess like any rebellious teenager, to get away from her parents.
Ah, I see. I wouldn't dare to make a comment on Phoenician parenting culture. I have no familiarity with such a thing. But how do you find Greydale?
I mean, it's not without its faults. I mean, I can't get good Phoenician wine anywhere, which seems to slowly be irking me. But anyway, it's fine, I suppose, with everything that's going on.
I don't know. I kind of think the primary export of this country seems to be racism, so I'm not particularly fond of the place, if I'm honest.
He takes a slow breath and looks considerate. I'm sorry if that's been your experience.
Well, yes. As a Barrowan, it certainly has been.
I mean, we've met wonderful people like yourself, so surely it can't all be bad.
I'm a Graydon, so I've never been treated poorly by Graydons on the subject of race, but I would have thought better than for that to be a reputation that spreads far and wide. Of course, I've heard such things, but if that's the prominent inclination of you, then I have nothing to say, but I'm sorry that that's your experience. It's more surprising to me than I feel it should be. What about you, Phalancool? I can't imagine you've ever traveled this far east.
Brick.
Brick. Apologies. How far have you traveled?
I have been to many places, and I do have to agree with Delvin. Your people tend to be rude, and your food is not good. And none of you can fight.
He actually snorts. Your forthrightness certainly amuses me. I'll be straight with you all. I've faced some harsher realities in the past few days about the country I've served than I care to admit. I hope it can be turned around. Sometimes when something has become sour, you may not be confident in its ability to ripen, but I've always... And he looks around, he takes a deep breath in the wide open, luscious air and the breeze, and the wind is blowing. It's a gorgeous landscape, and there's a very inspiring city if you like Greydale. And he looks really forlorn and says, I like to think there's something to preserve, something to find. I thought I knew it, but I think I was wrong. Perhaps I can show you some of the good in Greydale that I know, that I've come to love in my lifetime. And I hope that good can be shown to you in return, at least one day.
Delvin senses, detects his sort of mood a little bit. And I offer, look, mate, if you were in the barrows when I was young and you saw two kids fighting each other, two teeth get knocked out over a scrap of food, and parents throwing down their wage packets betting on who might win, you might think that there's not much worth saving in the barrows too. But we ain't just the sum of one or two people. It's about all the people, and if we can change some minds and hearts and maybe hang some people from some city gates, that could help. We might just be able to turn this thing around.
I never saw my position to be one to judge as to who should be hung from the city gates, but I've certainly come to realize that those that make the call are not the ones to make that judgment.
All right, they're usually the ones who should be hanging.
Well, I would prefer none be lost in the path to peace, but perhaps if things are tenuous enough, that may not be a possibility. I just don't know what the path ahead is. I thought I did. All my life I was raised on tales of the glorious king and his empire and the history behind this gorgeous country, and my heart breaks to know what the real lessons behind that all are. The lies I've been raised on. Forgive me, it's been a hard few weeks.
For all of us, I think, in different ways. But, look, enough macabre. Enough seriousness. Tell me, you got a wife?
No, I do not.
Husband?
Neither, no.
Girlfriend?
I've never been good with people, particularly.
Right.
People assume I take things far too seriously.
Favorite horn institution?
Music? Musical horn?
Oh my god. One day, I've got a new goal with you. I've got a goal with my friend Brick here. I've got a goal with Kat.
You do?
Oh, of course. I'm always making plans. But with you, sir, one day when we can get that iron fast pole from out of your ass, we might just be able to teach you how to go have a good time.
I've had a good time before.
Was it reading some poetry over a glass of wine?
Oh, no, nothing that ostentatious. No, I was, ballroom dancing was a pastime favorite in my household.
Oh, in your house? Like
Well,
with your
full-
sister
full-
or something?
Well, no, we took classes, of course.
Oh, right. Well, we gotta get you ballroom dancing again. Let's make this a country people can go ballroom. I don't think I've ever been in a ballroom. Ballroom dancing!
What sort of dancing do they do in the barrows?
Drunk dancing, and I'm quite good at it. You guys know it. And then in saying that, Delvin's face his smile cracks a little bit because like the last time he danced with these guys was with Medela. And that moment of like the good memory, ha. Oh. Right.
What about you, Brick? What sort of... I mean, forgive me, but I have heard of your dance. I haven't seen it, but I heard a second-hand account from one of the guard brothers in Cragmouth about a war dance being performed by a very tall man that I could only assume would be you.
It depends if you mean the dance of combat or if you simply mean training.
Well, what was it?
At Cragmouth,
Yes,
it was simply sparring.
in midair, in a terrifyingly beautiful formation, as I hear.
Well, there are certain moves that could be considered graceful, yes.
I should like to see those moves one day.
I try to get my practice in where I can.
I do find the overlap between grace, beauty, and ferocity quite enthralling to explore in training.
And you will find none more ferocious than me and my kin.
Now that sounds interesting. He seems genuinely like cool.
Because he's at the front riding the car.
Yeah, he's sort of like, it's a wide window when it's slid open. There's a few bars, but he's able to lean over. So you're sort of in close.
So I lean back in my chair and lean over to Cat, and I'm like, I think we found his type, Cat.
I look over it to Brick. And I look back at
Graceful,
you.
powerful. Right. Just a thought, eh? God, none of you like haven't cracking jokes today. I don't know.
I can never tell if you're being serious or if you're joking.
Both, always.
Right. Okay.
And this is much of the type and tone of conversation over the coming hours. And the day passes on without event. Every now and then you sort of see a few little outcroppings of some villages or even people travelling. But you've far left the river that carries past Cragmouth and into the opening of the sea. And you've been sort of travelling in to the mainland and up towards the crest of the peak on the cliffside on which IRONSPIRE dwells. The IRONSPIRE growing steadily more looming and imposing. I'm going to get Delvin to roll a perception check, starting at challenge level 4.
So he's what he's doing here is he's putting a handicap on because you guys always party handicap.
2.
I got 2.
Yeah, nothing yet. But you'll get to make it again. This is just for you.
Oh,
this is a
okay.
special
It's
little.
special.
Yeah. The sun's starting to settle a little lower in the sky behind you, and the heat sort of warming up the back of the carriage as you're moving forward, and then eventually you start to hear the distant sounds of the night creatures start to sort of come to the fore.
Are we getting close to IRONSPIRE?
You're about an hour away.
Okay.
Make another perception check, challenge level 3. I just can't until you get it.
Oh, look.
2.
Oh, 2.
All right. I'm going to just say all the way up until you're up in front of the walls
I
of
have
IRONSPIRE.
something.
Yeah, go
I
on.
want to do something before we get to the
All right.
walls.
All right. Well, I'm going to say you're an hour's journey away.
Yeah, when we get to like 5 minutes away.
And by the way, this is an hour's journey from the outer wall. By this point, you're basically traveling through a small village that's very large. So it's sort of very sparse, but you can see the dense population sort of build up off into the distance.
Catalina and Brick,
Delvin?
I've been, if I'm honest, perhaps a little bit odd in our journey here, and for that I apologize. I've got a lot on my mind.
There's nothing for you to be sorry about.
There might be. Look, there are some things maybe that I've done in my past that I'm not too proud of. And as I see the giant looming representation of authority in front of me, I feel suddenly that might come to the fore. And if it does, I hope that you don't think less of me.
No, not at all. Well, you have my trust. Do you intend to disguise yourself, or should I still call you Delvin?
I think perhaps that would be for the best. A Graydon might be a good costume for this little outing.
Are you talking in a way that Russell doesn't hear you?
I probably waited for a quieter moment where he might be more focused on the road or something. But if he could
I'll
overhear,
roll a perception.
yeah,
I'll
roll a perception.
I'll give it challenge level 3.
He,
He hears your heartbeat.
Yeah,
that's fine.
He can hear every
He's a
word
trained
between the
vet.
rhythm of that. Yeah, but he doesn't acknowledge it. He's just he looks focused on the road.
I guess you spend your entire life rebelling against a symbol of oppression, let's call it, and you don't often think that your journey might find yourself wheeling straight through the gates of it. And look, you don't get ahead in the world, certainly not in the Barrows, without stepping on a few people on your way up.
I think in a different way, I understand where you're coming from. And I put my hand on my harp and I say, I've had to hide the person I am my entire life, and you guys are the only people who have seen me for who I truly am.
I appreciate it, Kat. But, at this stage, I don't think you've got much of a dark past to hide from.
No.
You're yourself, and we know you for that, but it's not me now that I'm worried about. It's, well, what you might think about what I've done in the past. Anyway, just wanted to say that before we potentially get elevated 6 foot off the ground by some old musty rope, which is a possible outcome of this little venture.
It would need to be a strong rope.
For you, maybe, but
I put my hand on your shoulder and I say,
it's like the first time you've ever touched me.
Yep. I put my hand on your shoulder. Because I can tell you're getting nervous. And I say that...
Demonstrate to me how
Yeah.
you put your hand on
Like,
my shoulder.
Just disappeared! She's become a hand!
I'd like to make
Our
a report
podcast
about
listeners,
workplace
she
PDA.
has morphed into a single hand.
So like top of the shoulder?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like,
All right.
like to calm someone down.
Just a bit of just the top of the shoulder.
Just the top of the shoulder.
Okay.
Yeah. Very,
Cool.
very gently, not firmly or anything.
fine.
Just lightly. But enough pressure that you can feel my
It's a
hand.
boned area of the body.
Yeah. And I say, I will be there through thick and thin.
Well, thank you.
And I give you like a little pat and then take my hand back.
I'm probably going to abandon you immediately as the first sign of danger. I'm joking. That was a joke.
That
Kat.
was a horrible joke.
I'm not gonna abandon you. Look, I'll even put this, and I pull out the fruit knife that I got handed back at the gate. If I need to stick this in some kind of meat somewhere, to help you out, I'll do it.
Okay.
And I'm just like motioning like I'm stabbing the air with this knife.
Thank you.
Brick gently critiques your
No. You need to bend with your body and push off your opposite foot. Get more
I think he
leverage.
needs a bigger knife. Or that other thing that you talked about.
The punch. Oh shit! I don't know if it's name.
I've got it. It's the written down. Kalish.
All right. Well, that's all I guess I wanted to say for now. Is that, well, let's just hope it doesn't come to that, right?
The outside town is sort of starting to be pretty, like you're noticing the shadow is starting to overtake the cart a bit because we're going into 2-story buildings and we're about 20 minutes from the wall. And it's now sort of heading towards, knockoffs done. People are sort of either heading to retreat or traveling back from work or finishing up their trades or packing up their carts or going to their inns. It's a fairly standard night out in the city, but for IRONSPIRE and everyone else's experiences for this place, this is pretty bustling, especially for like 5:30, 6 p.m.
Okay.
And the cart eventually rolls up to a gate. But unlike a lot of the other experiences of rolling up a quarter horse cart thing, what's the thing called?
Stagecoach.
Stagecoach. Past a great and major city, you skip in the queue. There is a queue of like 4 carts or whatever starting to go through and a few hand carts or whatever. But there's a different little lane that you go through with just sort of a nod from the front. Russell sort of leans over. He says, I'm going to close the window now, but I happen to grab this just in case it would need it, in case any questions were asked. And he reaches in and drops like a little pot of like watery red paint. You are not enough outfit that there might be questions asked. But if you happen to have blood on your hands and bit on your faces, I think that sort of answers itself. It's not blood, don't worry. And he slowly closes the cart door.
Right. All right. Well, I probably would have preemptively changed into a Graydon outfit. Should I make my infiltration check for how good my
Go for it.
my disguise is?
I'm going to say challenge level 3. 4.
3.
Oh, you got... Okay, cool.
The red dice is me.
Nice.
Oh, there's the rest of my dice.
Cool. And I'm going to say... let's say... I did say challenge level 3. So Catalina or Brick, I'm going to get you both to make an infiltration check as well. But I'm going to give you a +1 win if you incorporate...
I also incorporate the blood.
Oh, there you go.
So I do myself up like a Graydon, but like someone who's scuffed with these two.
You look like a proper, like, citizen of the outer city who's been carried in after a bar fight.
Well, look at these two that came into my city.
What's the challenge level?
Challenge level 3.
Cool.
But you get +1 win.
Cool. Do I have to roll an infiltration check?
No, but if someone checks to see if you're infiltrators...
Can I assist Brick, immediately noticing he is looking completely out of his depth to like do his makeup?
Of course.
Okay. What?
It's like so pumped for a Brick
Putting on
makeover.
a 7-foot-tall monstrosity.
Like a bruise and helping you apply your blood
changes his
properly?
appearance all the time.
And put some, like, ruffle your costuming up so it looks like you've been in a fight. If you let me. Here, Brick, let me help you out, mate. I can help you. I can see you out to your depth.
I do not know if it would be of any use. I think it might be better if we just say I'm on my way to see my mistress. And I was in a scuffle with you.
In the middle of your conversation,
To explain why
I'm
you are
gonna
injured and I am not.
totally in the middle of your conversation, totally interrupted. I'm going to get Delvin to roll a dice or whatever it is, which is your magic sensing dice.
Ooh, 6.
Something stops you, like middle of your conversation. You feel like this shocking, weird source of energy in the direction of the spire.
Something's happening in the city.
What was your roll, Catalina? That was infiltration?
Yes, 3 successes. I will put
Very
it
well.
on, so.
Yeah. +1 win. So, you nail it.
Look, Russell's been a captain his entire life. I'm sure he knows what he's talking about, Brick. Just dress up. Come on, I want to do your makeup.
It is not believable that I have been hurt, though. Not by you, at least.
What about by a guard captain and his squad, who of which are resting up in the barracks after you gave him a walloping?
I mean, he stabbed me, but I'm fine.
Brick,
Look, let's just play dead.
are you a Shakespeare? Oh, Shakespeare. Are you a Schlaxparian actor? Famous Schlaxper from Graydon.
I love it. Sorry, the last chapter, I was called out for making Jesus canon because Mikey's like, Jesus! Like, oh shit.
Hey, guess what?
That's challenge level 4. You did it.
No, I
No,
didn't.
you didn't.
We
3.
failed by 1. I didn't add or subtract. You stop moving, Brick. God.
But your check
Yeah.
remains the same, including the tools you have to work with. So that's +1.
I still don't need it.
Oh, do I get the +1 win
Yeah.
for help?
For an assist. It's still the same roll. It's the same roll. You've got
I'll roll
makeup
the 1 extra
stuff. So-
dice.
It doesn't matter.
No, it's a +1 win. But yeah, anyway.
Why?
Because I can't win.
It's a level 2, isn't
he's
it?
assist-
Level 3.
Oh, okay. No, you don't win. He gets 2 out of 3.
Okay. You look very much like a Phelan call who, like, even though Delvin has sort of assisted, you do not look wounded at all. And you're not faking wounded very well because that's not what you're trained to do.
Yeah.
Just sits in there.
Delvin, I feel ridiculous. It's just not believable.
Right. You're right. It isn't. But it wouldn't have been so bad if you hadn't kept moving around.
I do not know if that is true.
And for clarity, I do want to say that Delvin has ruffled up his clothes. He's changed his jacket. But overall, it's mostly in the face and beard. I stuck on my fake beard again. So I'm not...
Yeah.
I was already wearing more Graydon clothes.
Delvin, can I borrow your paring knife?
Right. I hand it to you.
Straight into his leg.
Into Brick's own.
Well, there's your +1 bonus win.
How
Are we going to call that the free
are you actually injuring yourself?
Yeah.
into your leg, like into a incapacitating yourself way, or
No.
So you're going for
I'm
surface cuts
I'm
to
gonna
like
make myself bleed, but I'm not gonna be like, oh, I can't walk, or I've hit an artery.
Okay, I'm gonna let you assist your infiltration check with your
Strength?
knife combat check.
Which would be the same as unarmed.
Yeah. If
So
you
if I fail, I just
fail,
stab
this goes
myself.
very wrong.
I mean, look, it can't really.
But I'm only giving this to you because you, especially a Phelan Cool bodyguard, would know where the arteries are, what is going to hurt, what's going, so you know how to actually just
put
do
it in
this.
the exact
You know
spot the
how
other
to
guy
do
stabbed you.
cosmetic cuts, basically.
Wait, I assist him.
Yes, this is assist.
Oh no!
Wow.
Oh no!
That is another 2.
Well, you do this
Oh.
because you've used your knife.
That is an uncomfortable feeling.
What injury level does he
That's
take?
blood.
That's a level 2 injury.
You want to strength it?
Yeah, I'll strength it.
You've got 2 points of strength.
But that's used for the day. So if we
No,
get
it's
into a
used for the
fight,
combat encounter.
no, armor is combat
I'm
encounter.
going to
Strength
say
is the day.
if you negate it with strength, you get 1. Like I'll let it become 1 strength reduction if you get into combat in the next 24 hours.
Okay.
Okay. But you have actually, I'm going to say the paring knife was like sharpened this morning for a fresh pair.
Yeah.
And it cut deeper quicker than you expected. So even though you went in the right places, you actually start bleeding pretty badly.
There was a
Yeah.
reason that was my favorite knife. It wasn't because it couldn't cut things.
You've been following my advice and you've sharpened it recently.
It's always been sharp. It just looks like shit.
Slowly, the carriage door opens, and Russell looks over to say, "No, you're going to want to." And he catches himself, and he looks in to see a different person where Delvin was, and Brick holding a knife, bleeding onto the floor.
I've definitely handed the knife back.
No, you don't. No, if you try and pull it out, don't take it out.
It
No,
was literally out already. It was literally in and out.
Oh, we've got to staunch the bleeding. Oh my
Oh,
god.
I'll be putting pressure on it. I know how to treat a wound.
This is nothing. Growing up,
Failing
my
forward, I'm
brothers
going to
would
say
do
you're
much
very
worse.
convincingly looking wounded, but you're actually bleeding. So, oh my god.
What is happening? Brick, your plans are terrifying.
It is more believable if I am actually injured.
Right.
Yeah, it is.
Yep. Okay. Hi Russell. It's I. It's Delvin. I've been here all along, mate.
I was just going to suggest perhaps we keep it down as we approach the next wall. They're a little more.
Yes, let's not
Careful.
stab ourselves in the leg anymore, shall we?
Are we not? Is shouting not going to be the sort of thing they expect from us?
I don't know whether to laugh or cry. It's like this is either genius or madness. Let's see where it gets us. He just sounds amused and slightly perturbed, and he shuts the window back up again.
Cool.
All right, so
Stunned silence in the back as we look at
the
Brick's
cart
blood.
starts to roll as you approach the second wall, and this, as the journey has sort of been described and planned, is the last wall you need to pass to get to this region that he's going to pull in and get you sort of some shelter so you can plan the next stage. But there's a check, and they check everyone at this wall, because the previous place you were sort of in the outer city wall is really like, commoners can access pretty freely within reason. This is more heading into political territory, merchant territory, and noble territory. That was a 3.
Oh my
It's the
God.
cursed purple
So that
dice.
was
It only rolls 3.
I'll put the cursed one down
They're
here.
both cursed.
Are they? Yes.
That's it, too. They're
Yes, they
both
are. They're both
cursed.
cursed.
Oh.
So the cart starts pulling up. There's a few people standing around the cart with torches, ready to search. One sort of bangs on it. Russell climbs down and slides open the outer window. And I'm going to get him to make a persuasion check. This is his check against their perception. Now, you rolled a 3. This is someone who is in the inner city meant to perceive. Okay. So Russell's persuasion.
Oh, buddy.
He's not a very persuasive captain.
No, well, you've gathered from his socializing that he's a little stiff. So he opens up the window, says, "Feel free to look in freely. Just harnessing up some troublemakers, making sure they get to the right place." And the checker sort of like eyes him over, like as if to say, and you can sort of glance through the windows as if to say, like, that's an odd way to phrase that. And he glances in and holds up the torch so that the light sort of reflects in there.
I want to read emotions.
Okay, go for it. Challenge level 1. You've got it. So he's started his shift. You rolled a 3. So this guy's feeling like
Pretty focused and
pretty
refreshed.
focused, ready to sort of do his job.
Yep.
And he looks in.
I'd like to launch straight into lying. Can I have a deception check with some fluff?
Yeah, what are you doing?
I'll roll the dice because I don't know how we all role play differently. I kind of like to roll and then role play off the result.
Yeah.
So I got 3, so that's 4 out of 6. So that's pretty good. So I'm going to lead in with a a bloody good god of this king's nation who can finally sort this out, unlike this bastard who got a knock on the head dealing with this. I should be free to go. I'm a Graydon citizen, and I don't deserve to be in here with this filth.
How long do they expect to be in the holding cell for? What are you rolling for?
Oh, it's going to be persuasion, but I really want to try now.
You tried. That was your roll.
Yeah,
you don't test roll. You just roll persuasion.
Let me do it.
Play out of 1, please, sir.
I'm going to play it how I intended. And you
Yeah,
can
go-
react
yeah,
however you want.
This is ridiculous. I am Brick. I am a personal bodyguard for Lady Ladra. She sent me in town on a personal errand, and this vagabond tried to steal from me. He even stabbed me.
The guard sort of like is leaning over, mumbling to Russell and just like asking a few questions. I'm going to give Catalina a chance to have some input here and see if she can rescue it somewhat.
I had that. Brick, I had that. Actually,
But you can feel
you had that, Brick.
a rising suspicion.
Yep.
As far as emotion goes, it's like a feeling of distrust that's starting to brew and escalate.
Okay.
Mayhaps you have any bandages. This is bleeding quite profusely.
How long do you plan on staying? Well, I don't expect they should be. And so he started to, but he's like, you can see him peering across. You can hear the talking outside, and another sort of guard starts to walk around and inspect the vehicle.
Okay. I want to shift the first guard's
What you
emotions.
doing?
I want him.
To feel.
Ideally, I want him to be the opposite of suspicious,
Which is trust.
Trusting. Is that possible?
It's
I'd-
harder.
Yeah, look, you're shifting it, you're not really amplifying it, and he's at a pretty reasonable level. So I'd say it's challenge level 1. You could definitely shape it to be beneficial.
Or do I
to
have
you.
to shift it first and then amplify it?
No, this one will just be a shift. If you want to amplify it, it'll be in that direction.
Sure. All right, let's go
But
with
challenge
the
level
shift.
1.
I'll go shift first.
Yep. So as he's talking to Russell, you sort of coach his feelings along to be more focused on Russell than in the cart. He's sort of like feeling trusting of this Grey Guard captain who's bringing a vehicle in from out of town. And then Russell sort of says, we're from further west than I like to admit. You know, these sorts get a little odd when they have too much field air. And he's sort of, the person he's talking to starts to sort of get a little bored and calm. It's sort of like, all right, holding cell, you know, X and X and whatever. He sort of instructs and says that one should be fair enough for the period of time if you have duty to conduct in the inner city, and then they can be on their way, and perhaps they have a tribunal. There's sort of like reasons that they might be in this part of the city, so they're sort of talking through that in a way that a lot of you guys are probably out of the loop for.
Yep.
And then eventually it all starts to pick up again.
Great.
And I'm going to just give you because they were so closely conversing, you sort of got a sense of the shape of Russell's emotions just peripherally, and he was like, he's pretty scared.
It's like shooting birds, yeah.
he feels you got just this waft, like this random whiff of feeling a little naughtier than, you know what I mean?
Yeah, nice.
Meanwhile, as the cart starts to move forward through the gate and the front window is sort of creaked open a little bit so you guys can see out, as Delvin spots the spire, the feeling returns to him. There's something that just pulls his sense.
Very strong magic in that tower, but I can't say I'm surprised, but I didn't think I'd feel it like that. It's like a beacon. I wonder if the parent figure feels that way too. Also, Brick, maybe leave the lion and playing hooky to us. I love that you're getting involved, I really do, but you really put your foot in it that time.
I thought if we were arguing, it would make it more believable.
Catalina takes like a massive breath out and says, well, I mean, it could have gone much, much, much worse.
If I can promise you guys one thing for sure, lying to guards and getting my way out of sticky situations is kind of my specialty. It's really all that I do. I mean, aside from trade goods very well, there's a lot of there's more guards involved than I would care to admit.
I'll take your word.
Roll a perception check. Just Delvin. Challenge level 3.
I'm too busy focusing on the blood coming from his leg.
It's just burning out now.
So in another 30 minutes, because we're sort of navigating through this inner city wall in a way, moving more around the direction of the spire than towards it. Eventually, clambering through occasional bits of traffic and a few people who stumble onto the street, getting a little too boisterous, ready for a riotous night of noble partying. Eventually, you end up in a little bit of a quieter part of town. You pass a few little military outfits and slowly and eventually head towards what starts to feel like an interior street. Things start to sort of fade off into the distance sound-wise, and eventually the clip-clopping of bacon and eggs comes to a quiet halt on the cobblestone inside the transporting sort of holding cell area where prisoners are sort of let out.
While this is happening, I want to start trying to rub the blood off of my face and hands with just like my clothes or something, whatever I can find.
I'm going to say it's pitch black.
Yes, fine.
You can try. I'm gonna destiny roll this.
Okay, sure.
18.
Hey!
All right. You are okay. You happen to there's like a little container of water that you guys can have been able to drink out of, and you're able to sort of wash a lot of it off. So
cool.
You're mostly able to actually, even in the dark, you were probably painfully aware of where you're putting this stuff.
Yeah, I was just like, just hands, just face, done, and then just wash it off.
I hear the sound of splishing and cleaning. Mm-hmm. Catalina, what are you doing?
Wiping all this stuff off my
With
face.
what?
The water.
That's a piss bucket.
And I bring it up and give it a little bit of a sniff.
It smells like water.
It's water.
I know, I just thought, I can't help, I'm a scamp.
I
can't
put
help
my
myself.
hand in it and I go to flick you, and I've got no idea where you are, but I do this.
Hey,
Brick starts flicking blood like.
I just got it off.
Oh, sorry.
Yours is
Low hanging
fake,
fruit. A big bar sort of pulls across and the door of the carriage opens. You realize, sounds and feels a lot more like a prison carriage from the inside, surprisingly enough. And Russell sort of says, we should be reasonably safe to make the next portion of the journey without worrying about being seen. Indicates you all step out.
Are we, what's the plan? Are we staying somewhere or are we going tonight?
Well, I suspect you want a place to plan and meet, albeit briefly. This is a place, or at least nearby, where I can gather some information. You didn't seem to quite exactly know where to go.
That's
I
right.
believe we're not too far from what I suspect is one of the districts associated with the type of political person you've described. So, with a little further investigating, I should find some more answers for you.
What sort of place is this that we're waiting at again?
A temporary holding cell just for troublemakers, the occasional, vindictive spouse.
Right. Okay. Brick, how confident were you that you could tear any kind of bars off any kind of walls you needed to?
I turn back to the carriage and attempt to rip one of the bars out.
You actually attempt to rip one of the bars out?
I'll see if they give a little.
You may need to use this vehicle to get out of town.
I'll wiggle it and see if it's going to give.
I'll let you make like a grip roll to test it.
Okay. What's my challenge level?
Oh, 4. 5 if you want to do something.
I love the idea that if you get like max success, you fully bend them and then just fully bend them back into position.
3. So they feel very sturdy, but you don't know what you can do to it.
It depends on the craftsmanship. These ones are quite sturdy.
Make sure to put us in the dodgiest cell possible, please.
Oh, don't worry. This it's the comfortable jail.
Oh,
Sort of.
right.
There are curtains in the carriage.
No, just sliding chunky doors.
Okay.
But he seems to indicate it's time to move on. He's like a little nervous that people might wander past, so he sort of starts to carry through. And within moments, you end up in a small meeting room. This is more an office than a cell at this point. But he sort of says, "You shan't be uninterrupted here. I happen to know that the person who's stationed here is in a transitional period and out of town for a few days. So make yourselves at home. I shouldn't be longer than 10 minutes or so."
Thank you.
And he nods and
Is he
wishes you
laid
well.
off?
He goes to leave, yeah. Shuts the door behind him.
Right, so this is a perfect example of what crime and punishment looks like if you're rich. This is prison for the people in this district. They do something illegal and they come here to have a... is that a teapot I spot over there?
I have no idea.
It must be nice.
Are there any like curtains or drapes or sheets?
There are no windows.
Sheets? Like a bed?
And a destiny roll. Yeah. There's actually a cache. This isn't a cell per se. This is more like half casual interrogation room, half like actual office. So there are some bars. It's sort of like the sort of thing where someone needs to be observed for a period of time, but it's not like a holding cell. But yeah, the cell is open and there is a small sort of half bed, half couchy thing with some sheets.
Is there enough fabric for me to rip off to make a mild tourniquet?
I rolled a 15. I'm going to say yeah.
I would like to make a mild tourniquet.
Yeah. It's fairly easily torn fabric and you can wrap yourself up, make a survival check.
Oh, Jesus.
Challenge level 1.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh,
Very
good
successfully wrap it all up. Stop any and all bleeding.
Would I be safe to assume that after this place we're kind of ditching the whole prisoners thing?
I mean, it's sort of, we'll see how things unfold.
If we're going to meet with someone in a palace or something, we're not going to be dragged around with handcuffs to go meet Medela's aunt.
I highly doubt it.
Right. Is there a wash stuff? Is there a washroom or something, or buckets or basins?
Not in this room.
Okay.
But in short order, the door is reopened.
Okay.
Russell says, "I think I have the information you need, but I'm afraid you're probably on your own from here, because I don't think that cart is going to be the one to get you to the back servants' alley of the political quarters. Specifically the fucking, what do you call that thing when you've used the word like twice.
Embassy?
Embassy, thank you. District of Felmore." He says that much more succinctly.
Oh, that's interesting.
I've
Do
been
I know
involved-
anything about embassies in this country?
General knowledge check, which you can assist, but challenge level.
How about this? Catalina, what do you know about embassies?
General knowledge as well.
Yeah, yep. Challenge level 4.
1, 2,
Not a lot.
Not your field of
Nope,
expertise.
sorry.
None of us can roll tonight.
All right.
What I know is that the place of work and the day-to-day is sort of a separate region, but the housing is provided by the city, and they sort of group different parties together. Feelings of camaraderie, of familiarity, and safety, of course. So I believe there is a Felmore region or two spread throughout the inner city, and I think I've located the one. In fact, I believe I have the house that Madame Iladra is in. But I also seem to have seen a higher level of stationing of, well, there's no easy way to say this, spire guard outside of Felmore housing.
Right.
Something tells me after recent events in their trading city that perhaps they need protection from the common folk, or
The king.
and he sort of catches himself. He doesn't know how to respond.
I mean, we're talking about the people that were massacred in their trading city by the King of Flames. That looks more like, well, that sounds more like they're being kept prisoner than they're being guarded to me.
That does make a lot more sense. He looks a little embarrassed to be so naive.
Being protected from the horrible people who are attacking them.
So, you have basically gives you a map of a small portion of town. He sort of indicates that he can direct you where to go. And he seems to indicate that he can tell you how to get there without the front door, because there is a servant's entry from the back and they all sort of share this alleyway. So he shows you where that is. But I'm not entirely sure I should be accompanying you. Should things go south, I may be the only one who can get you out.
I agree. We'll do this one on our own, I guess.
Do you intend to stay here?
I have some personal matters I could attend to while I'm in town, but I could be available for whatever you need me for, if there's anything in particular you have in mind.
No, just so that we know where to find you.
Perhaps a place to get servant-y clothes. I mean, a Phelan Cull, that makes sense as a servant to go in the servant quarters, but us, a little less usual, especially for a Phoenician woman.
That shouldn't be a problem. There is a wardrobe, I suppose I should say, for when some of the people who have to stay here longer have to have their belongings held. I can give you access to there as long as we return whatever is borrowed. And he pulls out a key. He says, and this is the key to this room. I anticipate, given that it's going to be late by the time you're done, should you need a place to rest, this would be the safest and most assured place in the city. I can meet you here in the morning to transport you home.
And what if I wanted to stay in a very fancy tavern?
Well, that's up to you, but if you happen to have a history and someone might by any chance recognize you, it might not be wise.
There's one bed and he just pulled the sheets off it.
Quick question. The Glimmering Flask Inn, was that in IRONSPIRE? Is that
The
in...
Glimmering Flask Inn is in Geldervale.
It's in Geldervale.
Yeah.
Okay. All good.
All right. So, somewhere to wash ourselves up, get this blood off. Fake blood.
Yes, follow me. And he leads you out past an area which is sort of like a washing and unclothing area, and then there's a large sort of walk-in robe with all sorts of different stuff. I don't even know. This is basically a rolling a 20. Basically, you have access to all sorts of different outfits of different grades of living and personalities. So this is sort of like Delvin's like little playground at this point. Cool. You can kind of play dress-ups pretty effectively.
Yay.
But sort of as you look at all these clothes on the walls, you can sort of, you're probably aware that there are some distant rattles and noises and a few conversations of people in cells off at the distance. They're quite a, these are people's clothes who are currently held in here. Some for probably weeks, maybe even months.
Cool. I'll find a service outfit that I think is appropriate.
Oh, like a maid sort of like, yeah,
Yeah.
cool, easy. Yeah,
Cool.
You find a couple to choose from.
Brick, what would did you have like handlers? Someone who would be like a someone who might be a liaison between Phelancull and other people, or someone who might look after their scheduling of their affairs or anything like that.
I do not believe so. It was mostly
You're trying to read my expression to like
trying
get
to
an
get you
answer.
to tell him.
It was mostly just commands from my owners to tell
Yeah.
me what to do.
So the actual managing of stuff on any sort of functional level wasn't really something that the Phelancool were involved in. So,
I mean,
but
would they have someone who would like have a clipboard and walk
oh
around?
yeah,
and be
yeah,
like,
they
"Oh."
have servants for sure.
So, like, what I'm kind of getting at is if a Phelancool without their master was being transported from point A to point B, is there kind of a look? Is there like a person who would have the clipboard, and would Brick have seen those people and be able to describe what they look like?
He might do, but it would be pretty unrealistic in this city. You would know, especially with a high infiltration, simply because the Phelan are sort of dark-skinned and their attire would just stand out like a,
Sure.
you know.
All right, I'll
So
go with
fun.
servant's outfit too. I gather the best looking, not poor, but clearly like butlery outfit.
Yeah.
I can.
Delvin.
And then I have it in my arms.
How exactly are we going to get Brick in? I'm a little bit concerned.
Well, if there's anywhere in the entire city that Brick can get somewhere, it's into a Phelan's house. He's a Phelancull. There's probably nowhere else in the city he looks more at home than a servant in a Phelancull house, right? Getting him there, that's the problem, but he's kind of out ticket to this whole negotiation.
Yeah. No, I agree. You don't think it's going to be a problem? Then?
I think it will be a problem, but it's a problem we have to face.
I think we'll be okay.
Roll a perception check.
How far away is this place from where we currently are?
Oh boy, too.
Your perception has been awful.
Every one of my rolls has been awful.
I'm going to roll a deception from Russell.
A deception from Russell.
I'd say there's nothing else I think you could
Okay.
go under. He's basically just like he had an expression he tries to hide. I'll re-roll that dice. Oh, you
2 on
match.
2, it's a
Is that
re-roll.
re-roll? All right, go for it.
Come on. It's got to be up from here.
3.
Four. That's 4. Okay,
So it's
he's
2.
got 2. So you notice he's sort of like looks like he's about to say something and catches himself and stops as you seem to suspect he realized what he might have suggested. He's sort of like,
Does it look like a good suggestion that he's repressing, or maybe a stupid thing he was going to say?
it certainly seems like he knows something that he's probably suppressing, but it's probably a good suggestion. It's probably just a naughty one.
Russell, I'm keen to hear what you had to say. You were
Look.
about to leave, but
Oh no, everything you need should probably be in here, so I don't think there's a...
you're about to say something. No, I saw that cheeky look in your eye. I want to hear. Hey, we're a little compact here. Let's hear everyone's ideas.
Well, it only occurred to me that the widest variety of attire that fits larger builds is probably not in this room. And it's probably not commoner attire. But that is the sort of suggestion that could get me in a lot of trouble for you.
You're saying that some other people might be in possession of some appropriate clothing from. Hypothetically, not saying we would have anything to do with that, but just they might possess things that we might be better suited to wear. If we were lucky enough to know them.
It just occurred to me that in the armory, there are large guards who sometimes need to wear specialty clothing.
Wait, there's Phelancull guards in the eye.
No, there's just very
Like that
large
big dude that you
guards.
thought he was almost the same size as you, the one that you humbled in like one punch.
Look, few and far between that are as large as this one, but enough in a capital city that I don't think it should be a problem, except that I would be hung.
I don't know what she's. I didn't hear anything, mister.
No, neither did I.
I don't know what you're talking about. You're not even involved. You're about to leave, right?
You're right. Right.
Yeah.
Silly of me
think,
to even think. And
I think we need to go use the lavatories.
Hey, Russell,
yes,
I do want to actually labour on that point of being hung. If things go that way, don't put your neck out for me. Just let me go. You could do good, and I know a group of people who are very interested in, well, helping them do good. People who got us to meet each other. And they're going to meet you soon, so, yeah, look after yourself. Don't go and throw your life away for something.
Do you say this in front of everyone?
Yeah.
Okay.
Listen, I don't claim to know a fraction of what it is that you're all dealing with. It baffles me enough that you're companions and you seem to know each other so well, but from what I can gather, you've barely known each other a few weeks. However, I will say that the level of camaraderie I've experienced this day alone is more than I have for some Grey Guards I've served with for decades. He seems just pretty numb as he says it. Listen, I don't know what you're dealing with, what your long-term plans are. I hope I've been of help, and I certainly hope to take you all out in one piece, and that this girl that you're hoping to help will also be restored to her rightful place. But in the meantime, the lavatory, I'm feeling very forgetful. So you might find it down the corridor to the left, once to the right, and in a fairly robust door that might be a little rusty handled. Here's, I believe, I need to.
The
And
toilet
he's
key.
like, here's the lavatory key.
Oh, a bit of elbow grease. Yes.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
I think that's it. But if you get lost along the way, don't blame me. I hope you end up being able to
If I happen
have
to
your toilet needs served.
If I happen to find anything, I will put it back in the office that we were in before,
Or back in the lavatory.
or back in the lavatory.
If you find something in the toilet, either don't take it or put it back where you found it. That's my general
I
suggestion.
show you the key, and I put it back in my pocket.
All right.
I best be off.
Thank you, Russell.
Thank you.
And all
And
the
he,
best
he
tonight.
stops and actually, like, you can tell he's trying to just let you know he means it. Good luck. So I'm going to, like, fast track this one a little bit, but I'm going to say you get given the key to the armory and you find the armory and there's plenty of armor. But this is mainly Grey Guard armor. Spire Guard and Iron Guard, which you probably wouldn't be advised to put on anyway, isn't in this building. But you do find bits and pieces enough from different areas to dress Brick up as a Grey Guard.
Helmet.
Yes, including a helmet, which is, you're pretty well fully covered. And in fact, it's nighttime, so you could even take your goggles off if you wanted to, because your perception, you've got a plus to perception. And yeah, you are not visible as a Phelan call. You're just a very tall, tough-looking Grey Guard.
Wide, big.
Very.
Large boy.
So do we all want to dress up as guards, or are we going to be the servants taken in? What's the play?
I think it's probably best if I stay a servant. We can scope more ground that way.
What do you reckon, Brick? 2 guards or 2 servants? What one?
You are quite tall for one of your kind, so you may be able to pass for a guard, except your posture and stance does not set it too well.
All right. Delvin stands up straight and like pushes his shoulders out broad and just stands probably the more confidently than you've ever seen him, as he just adopts the posture of a guard, pretty much. How about this then?
I hand you a weapon. What do you do?
What weapon?
I'll give you what's the standard equipment for a...
Spear.
Give you a spear.
Do I know what? I hold it. Like this.
Roll an infiltration check. Challenge level 3. Fucking
6.
nail it!
6 successes.
Well done.
He looks to you like a man who has served more than half his life in the guard, and he looks older almost instantly, even by just the way he holds his stance and grips the spear. This is a man who has not yet been promoted, but is weathered in the guard.
I guess that settles it then, eh, Brick?
You are very good at that. Deceiving people. You're good at it.
Playing parts, playing roles. I prefer to call it something like that. Or should I do a different one? What are we thinking? What? Grey Guard.
I think you just pick one and we go.
I'm a Grey Guard, or I'm a Grey Guard.
I'm gonna take the key.
So
and
you start walking out towards the set, and
Leave
Delvin's
it.
like muttering, "Oh, McGregor."
I suppose I cannot expect you to fight very well. You can look the part, but did you magically inherit skills as well?
I just wink at him and say, I'm a very skilled man, Brick.
Noted. If we get into trouble, stay behind me.
I take the key, leave it at the laboratory.
Oh, all right. So with me with just like a helmet on and a spear, I'm like, I need to get changed now. Would you mind stepping out of the armory?
Step out? Oh, okay.
I have my privacy, and I think that you should respect
That's
that.
fine. I thought you were done. That's okay.
I'm literally wearing a helmet and holding a spear.
Okay.
Oh
You don't
my
need
god.
any help.
Wait. He's going to get in trouble if we actually steal anything, isn't he? He said so. There's a rack of maces over there. There's a full rack of them.
No. Just put,
You wanted me to get away.
just put on the armor.
All right, get out then. Get out. Get out.
I go out.
I try and push you out too.
You are a strange man, Delvin.
Well, I don't
Very
want
strange.
you to see me in a state of undress. It's very
I've seen you in
comely.
a state of undress.
Yeah, you changed people in the cart when we were.
No, I just put it. I said I ruffled my clothes and put a
Spent
jacket on.
2.5 weeks together in the wilderness. Of course I've seen you.
I would say you haven't.
No.
Really? Yeah.
He's
Delvin
actually
is
from
like
the beginning always said he's
He's
super
always got
private.
a
basically like
penthouse by
a
himself.
massive
Really
hang-up.
body conscious
Like
from the
I would
beginning.
walk, I would wait until everyone else is out of the change room and then still go in a stall to get changed. Like
I
Delvin
have to
is
give
like,
it to him because he said it like from the beginning in the like, and you've known him 2 weeks, so
fair.
yeah.
I'm very shy, Brick.
This is adorable, you know that, right?
I leave the room. I leave the room.
All right.
I prop something up in front of the door and then get changed into a guard
I'm gonna
uniform.
let your infiltration roll cover your wearing of the uniform, and out steps a
you
fucking guardy
take-
guard.
A mace.
Delvin steps out with a spear and a mace hanging from his hip. We can put it back later. But I kind of want to feel the heft of it on my leg. See if I can get used to it.
Fine, let's just go.
Right. Looks good though, doesn't it?
I unprop the door, close it, push these two. Let's go.
All right.
A brisk walk down the corridor, and eventually you end up in sort of a back rear entry place that you sort of go through, and you end up in a rear street. You do have the directions that Russell gave you, as well as a very small map for a region of town that he described as only 4 blocks away.
Yep.
This isn't a roll for anything to or against you in particular. It's just the state of this street in particular is really quiet. This is a really, that was an 18 for the roll.
Finally.
Basically dead quiet street. So Russell picked a great place and gave you good directions. And you're actually right on the outskirts of the part of this map. All you have to do is get around to this back alleyway that's sort of behind a good dozen or so of these houses. And at the very end of this, sort of on like the equivalent of a modern court, is the rear entrance to the house of Lady Eladra Shale. Or at least the assigned house. But you do know, everyone roll a perception check. Now that we're sort of looking at this region of buildings.
It's challenge level.
I'll give you more based on what you get. So I'm
get
going to say you
3.
get something with 3. What'd you get?
3.
3.
1, 2.
2.
Looking at
Catalina don't get
And
much.
don't you get a bonus dice?
1, 2, 3.
Well, you needed more than 3. Come on.
I'm too busy
You
looking at the
both
map.
get 3. Delvin and Brick get 3 each. You both notice that there are 2 Spire Guard soldiers standing outside of every door. You've never seen a Spire Guard up until this moment, lit by the now open sky and the moonlight. The first thing Brick would notice about them is their very adept stance. Almost like the beef eaters, what do you call them? Those big fuzzy hat dudes. It's like their equivalent of that. They have like almost these ceremonial helmets. It almost looks like a political posting because they're representing the highest degree of protection in the city. But they are you can tell by their stance they are ready at all times. That's where they're trained to be. That they actually probably give you pause, and you sort of might doubt that you could even, take one.
These men know what they are about, Delvin.
So we should avoid as many of them as possible, right?
I think that would be for the best.
Delvin knows enough to suspect that this is a much higher level of protection than is needed.
Oh, yeah, yeah. All right, well, there's a back alley over there, which I guess we kind of need to walk with confidence. We're in disguise. We know where we're going. Directly the most efficient route to take this servant who's lost.
Yes. Ever so lost.
A Thanisian servant. A female one. Maybe, what do you do? Are you like their child's tutor?
Knowing what I know about my culture, I would have specifically picked a very male-looking outfit, or nothing.
I'll let it be up to you.
Okay.
Because you could do that. You could certainly, and I'm happy, especially given the, the options you had in front of you. You could do that.
Sure.
You could also do more of the nanny side of things in the Thanisian style, because women in Thanisian culture are the teachers and the leaders, and so even in the way that they participate in great in society, there wouldn't be any Thanisian men assisting with those roles. That would actually be Thanisian women, because it's a leadership role.
Sure. Okay. Let's go with a tutor teacher sort of spin on it then.
Cool.
But just obviously down from what I was wearing before.
Lost in the big wide city.
Yes. Your assistance is greatly appreciated.
Right.
All right.
Well, let's head to your house then.
I open up the map and I go.
Everyone make an infiltration check. Challenge level 3, and you all get +1 win. +1 win.
No. Get away from here with that
That's cocked.
roll.
That's cocked.
That's cocked.
Roll it.
7 dice, and all of them are fails.
That's cocked. Roll the one at the
I
end.
did. That was the reroll.
Oh, that was the reroll.
That one.
I did, but I rerolled a
He
different
did
dice.
roll a different dice.
That was nothing.
That was
you
nothing.
got nothing. So you got 1. Okay, let's see how this goes.
What's the challenge level?
3.
3.
No, I'm not even going to roll.
I'm going to spend a destiny so I at least get 3.
You get 3.
Because I'm not failing this one.
Roll.
You got 1 dice,
I
right?
have 1 dice.
You can get
Roll.
2. You might want to
Delvin
spend
got
a
1
destiny.
win. Yeah. There you go. So you.
Oh my god. Oh, yep, I done.
Okay.
Spent it.
Brick and Delvin got 1 success. Catalina got 3.
3.
Catalina is a very convincing looking tutor. But this is a destiny roll.
I told you that dice is cursed.
It was a 3.
All it rolls is 3s. All it rolls is 3s. Burn it.
You make it past 5 spire guards, all the way back to the corner where you turn. You're going around the side of one of the houses along the length of this, and you're about to turn to the alley that you need to go down, the sort of rear entrance alley. And there is an iron guard posted there.
An iron guard.
Sorry,
Or a
a
spire
spire guard.
Yep.
And he turns to the group with an immediate look of recalculation and recognition as he looks at the armor that both Delvin and Brick are wearing. And he waits to see what you...
Do I notice him being
100%.
suspicious?
Yep.
I want to read his emotions straight away.
Oh, actually,
Or do I
you
roll
notice him
perception?
looking up and down and watching very carefully.
Okay,
But
I won't. I
yeah,
won't
okay.
do it then, because I would just assume that he's just looking like anyone else.
He's just, you're the only ones on this street,
Yep, that's cool.
and he's turned to look at you.
Okay.
But the others didn't turn.
Do we notice his suspicion?
Notice he turns. You don't. He's got a helmet on, so you don't see.
I don't.
I am going to read his emotions then.
Challenge level 1.
Oh, yep.
Ball sack.
Okay, you burn 1 mana.
Yep.
It's harder to harness as you don't see any facial expressions. You don't sort of see any sort of connection to a person that you can use your magic on. But you sort of brute force your way in. You can feel your magical energy sort of dissipating somewhat, and you lose a little bit of it, but you grab him. You've got him. And he's got a very recent but a little bit of surprise and now building suspicion.
Yep.
Continue walking to
Yeah,
the
we
destination.
just keep
pretending we
walking.
haven't noticed him.
The suspicion is rising as you're walking towards him, and I'm assuming indicating that you're going to be going down this alleyway. And he's...
I just quietly, in as broad a voice as I can possibly do, trying not to put too twang on it. Just did you say this was the way to your master's property?
I pull out the map, like the tiny map, and go, yeah, I think it's this way.
We've got other places to be.
Hurry it up. It won't take long.
That's
Yes.
I'm afraid you cannot pass.
But I just need to...
Simple as that, on your way. And you two, I don't know what regiment you're from, but you're certainly not the owners of that armor. So I highly suggest that you explain to me right now who you are or why you might be impersonating a guard. Or in fact, why you have been given the armor of Brutus and Sheffield.
I'm going to just try deception.
Okay, you go. I'm going to try and shift use emotion after Dave's done. Oh.
3 successes. I'm going to... Before I know the outcome, but I'm going to try my lie. And I'm going to say, please don't tell our superiors, sir. I know it's not like them, but they went a bit heavy on the grog, and I said we'd swap shifts with them. You know, do an extra round, and they wouldn't get strung up, but I didn't expect we'd be bloody walking into the center of the spire, helping out some servant.
Okay. I'm going to assist his check with his military spy guard roll. This is an assist roll.
Oh.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He gets +2 to his next perception roll.
Well, I'm not that good at lying.
Okay.
His perception roll is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He knows immediately you are absolutely bullshitting him, and whatever indications you just made about who's supposed to have been on the grog and how you got that armor, he knows exactly what's going on. And what's everyone's reflex? I did not expect this to happen.
Okay, shift emotion for him. Soften it completely.
What's your reflex?
1.
Okay. All right.
what's our
So it's a
reflex here?
roll off.
1.
Because you can do that, but it's a roll off.
Okay.
1 as well.
1. Everyone's got 1 reflex. This is it.
Everybody
roll
gets
off.
1.
Better fucking hope he gets a bad roll.
Not with the way you've been rolling.
He got a fucking 6!
Did you see what you just rolled after I rolled 0 successes on 7 dice for infiltrate? He goes first.
Can I spend a
Well, we
destiny to
deploy
make
first.
it?
We declare first.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, you all have to declare what you're
My
doing. And
declaration
he's
is to do nothing. I stand and wait for his response.
okay.
Mine is to shift emotion to more trusting if possible, or if I can't get a hold of that, to at least just bring back some of that hostileness a little bit.
As in reduce the hostile.
Yeah, which might be more amplify soften, so I don't know if that's a different check.
Okay. Brick?
I'm not going to attack, but I would do what I would need to do if I think he's going to attack to defend Delphi.
You don't know.
No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, if
So you adopt a
You-
defensive
you mo-
stance.
I adopt,
That's your plan.
I adopt a defensive stance protecting you two.
Are we the only people down this particular... I know we need to turn right. Are we the only people down this alley?
Based on the first exploratory roll of the state of the street, I'm going to say yes. There isn't
Okay.
anyone else in view in this area. But you
Okay.
also know that within not too out of earshot
Yes.
are some spy guards.
Yes. Okay. Cool.
Okay. This spy guard in particular, quick as lightning, grabs the heft of his staff and bucks right against Brick's knee to have him drop to the ground so that he can start making the arrest. And he's taking the first person out first, the first immediate threat, and he's going to call out. Okay. So I'm gonna make his combat roll. Depending on if he gets a good combat roll relative to whatever you guys roll, then I'll roll the destiny roll to see. And then he just shouts. But if he doesn't compete well against you guys, he's going to roll a destiny roll to see if he can shout well.
There you go. It's a different dice.
Don't you want it to? Oh, yeah, no, in favor of the players. All right. Okay, so his combat roll. Oof.
Mm-hmm. Oh my god.
All right.
It's fine. You declared defensive, so you get +2. You can't get victory levels, but you're
One,
gonna knit.
two,
It's
three, four.
That looked, for some reason, that looked hotter than it was.
It did. Lots of
I was
sixes.
scared.
It was 6s and 5s, but you know, it was 4 victory levels. Sorry, 4.
Good thing you got a pole arm, hey. Spears are.
What was? How many did you get?
You got 4.
4 successes.
Right in the knife wound.
You're not gonna. Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Did that include your extra 2 dice for defensive?
Yeah.
And you using a reach weapon?
No, I'm using a large weapon.
Spear. Oh, isn't that what you?
I'm using my weapon.
He didn't take his.
No, you will
have a
have
guard
had to
spear.
have left your Phelan cool giant.
But it's the
blade
same weapon
back.
proficiency.
Yeah. You get a level 1 victory.
But no, I can't get a victory level. I'm defending.
No.
So he just doesn't get. Nothing happens basically.
Okay. Well, Catalina can. Because. Okay, so you've got his emotion. You can. You're gonna have to move it first. I'm gonna say challenge level 1 just to. Oh.
She already has the emotion, can't she? Just
You've got
move
the
it?
emotion. You can shift it.
Yep.
I should have told you a
That's
challenge
okay.
level first.
It's cool. It's cool.
I'm going to say you can soften it for the 1. But if you want to start shifting it, it's going to cost more. You're going to have to burn a mana.
I mean, you can burn a destiny to save the mana too.
Yeah.
Can.
I'm gonna burn the destiny to make it a success, and then shift the emotion.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're going to shift it from. So he's in a indignant state. He's feeling like insulted and angry. So it's quite strong. Shifting that of an iron guard, spire guard, you'll be able to do it to something sort of adjacent, but I wouldn't say opposite. He's not going to be happy anytime soon.
I'm gonna. Can I shift it so that he's more persuasive towards me? So, like, if someone said something,
You can move feelings. So
Okay.
it's a little specific, but what you probably could feel like you could do is make him feel victorious, like he's already won. So sort of in that righteous sort of anger place of like, I
Okay,
will punish
sure.
the person if
Yeah.
he's...
I'll say yeah. Let's do that. I want him to feel victorious. And as I've got this emotion, I'm shaping it. I want to shout, or not shout out, but I want to say to him that, I'm just lost. I just wanted to find my way. I apologize, sir. We didn't mean to cause any trouble. You clearly have the situation under control.
Roll a persuasion check.
Okay.
Delvin does nothing? Was that your...
My thing was waiting to see what he does. Like, I didn't want to make any sudden moves.
So he went to take Brick out in his stance.
Declared I did. I guess I defensively. I just sort of dodged and waited for. It's the problem with rolling low on the.
What was your roll?
3 successes.
3 successes.
You rolled a 3.
I rolled a 1 on
Right,
reflex.
this
Oh,
is
we both rolled
perception.
a 1. Or did we all roll a 1?
He got
Awful.
3.
Okay.
Roll
You got
again.
a 6.
Yeah, he got a 6. Yeah.
Oh, I'm so nervous.
It's pretty. This is a lot. That was 2. No, that was 1. Oof. Uh-oh. 1. Roll again.
My God!
Do you have any destiny points?
I have 1 left.
Save it. You need mana. Mana's more worthy. You can do more with magic than you can with.
That's 2,
percent-
3. All right. There's a long stare.
Oh my God! 4.
No, he's not convinced. He does stop for a moment. He's sort of like looking up and down.
And that emotion changed in.
He starts to shake his head. He double
Okay.
takes at Brick, and in that moment, obviously these two very competent combatants assess each other. That's what you're both sort of built to do. And he's sort of recalibrating a little bit. I've got a destiny roll this one.
Oh, fuck.
It's
What
giving
is,
another one.
what is, it's the blue one.
No, it's
5.
just his hand. It's just his hand. He curses the dice that he touches.
Turn around, you're under arrest. In the name of the king. All three of you. And he whistles. and around the corner, both corners, spire guards
Oh my god.
start walking out. Marching towards you.
Okie dokie.
Around with you. He indicates that Brick is sort of he's facing the bigger one first. I said turn around. It's the last time I'll say it.
I look at Delvin.
I just think, I don't think we can take him. Sir. These two had
do you
nothing to
turn
do with
around?
it.
Brick, do you turn around?
I slowly start turning around.
He pulls out iron
What's the person's
cuffs.
name?
And he,
The lady, her name.
I've got her name written down.
is something.
I also have it written down.
Eladra.
Yeah.
These two had nothing to do with it. Let them get back to their business. He's taking this lady to the house. I'm the one that's sneaking around.
What's he thinking at this point in time?
there are two spire guards. He's ignoring you. He's not responding to you because at this moment he's assessed that all three of you are a problem and he's here to deal with problems. And so are the two spire guards that have come and now approached, and both of which sort of like, declare that you turn around. Brick is now in chains.
I'm not
and cuffs
letting him
behind
be.
his back.
This has only been like 3 seconds.
He's cuffing him up. Brick is slowly
So his
turned
back's
around.
turned?
Yeah.
I stab him in the back.
The guard.
Yep.
Oh, fuck.
He's flanked.
Oh, fuck. We're all dead. Oh, fuck. Okay.
He's turned from me, cuffing him up against the wall.
Yep.
Flanked.
Okay, you get an unguarded attack.
In a blur of motion, Delvin flicks his hands down, 2 daggers drop into his hands, and he just stabs directly at the guy's back.
Make a combat roll.
What's my bonus? Or does he just not get defense?
He just doesn't get to roll against it. So whatever you get is victory level.
I use a destiny to give myself advantage.
Oh, I hope it works.
You didn't need to.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
6
6
successes.
lethal shank.
Just
exactly where it needs to go.
Straight under his helmet, just literally straight through his spine. Just instant kill. And then just pull
And
it out.
He drops the key and just collapses to the ground in a slump. And the two spire guards, wide-eyed, you can even sort of see it through their helmet, say, "Halt! Stop you!" And they start chasing you. They're, I'm going to say, 10, 15 meters away from you all, so you better figure out what the fuck you're going to do.
Are these the only ones in the
And
immediate
they just shouted,
area?
"Halt, stop you," and had just walked away from a posted guard where they were paired with someone else.
Well, I'm assuming we're all in combat now, right? Really?
You get to act for 1 round
Before
while
combat.
they're running at you, but they're ready in their combat stance. You just killed a
I
fucking
don't
spire
care.
guard.
We were fucked either way. Honestly,
Yeah.
Delvin was fucked either way.
But props, that was a really fucking good roll.
well done.
Why didn't you roll like that anytime else?
Why did it get into this situation?
How many guards have we seen in the immediate vicinity within 100, 200 meters that might be within earshot that we've passed?
You suspect, there were 5 you passed on the way to this part, one of which is approaching you from one side, 1 from the other. You might suspect there might be another 5 on the other side. So it's possible that 10 living guards, or 8 living guards heard you who were stationed, 2 are in sight and running at you now.
There's 2 ways this is going to go, and it's either you go and tell, we have to get the word to Medela's mum. What's the point of anything if we haven't running is going to be just as hard.
Can I, now that this guard is away from this street, is anyone down that street that I need to
It's
get to?
an empty street.
Okay.
You all have a clear run though to their house.
Why don't we just bolt for
What's the benefit of getting in the house?
That's the question.
it? Run!
Confines.
Let's. Hey,
Hey, they don't know what. I shouldn't. Imply.
I just say run.
run to the house. Is it out of sight?
Woo!
It's down a clear path straight ahead.
But out of sight from the two guards.
By the time you're halfway down the alley, they will be at the mouth of the alley.
Okay. Cool.
We're also in disguise as well, so we can.
Yep.
We run.
Yep. So
Do we? I say, Brick. Do we take out these two? Buy more time. Fucking run, cat.
I do not think I would be able to take them out.
I bolt. I just go.
Gets here.
I said we.
You barely know how to hold your weapon.
He's got a stab wound from before.
How much distance do I think between the two guards behind us and the rest of the guards?
You got another full round. Like you can choose what to do if you can. If you
It's
engage
more,
in combat,
if we
with
killed them quickly, if that happened, hypothetically, would there be a bit of a gap between the next lot?
yeah. If you kill them quickly, and they're going to have the same sort of role that this guy had.
They're gonna have the same role.
These people are god tier.
That's their job.
But if we kill them, then the tails ran out.
Yeah.
Or we just get ran into a house, they call more guards over, that we get boarded up. Like, I don't see it ending well if we go in the house. I don't see what helps in there. Unless they have more Phelan cool, but how are we going to turn them around? Quick thoughts?
I think that I get
I
in.
think a house.
I think a house is a better option because if there's one doorway that they're coming through, then at least I don't have to fight two at once.
And if she knows who Brooke
right.
is,
Okay. Sure.
just got to find her.
You're a call. Brick, you reckon inside? Let's go.
It is easier to fight one at a time in a chokehold.
Go.
Choke point.
So
We're
you're all
very stressed.
bolting.
We're
You're
all
not,
bolting,
You're
yeah.
not taking the two who are nearby.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, this is going to be a chase mechanic just down the alleyway because you've got one full round that you got to stay ahead of him. So everyone's going to have to make an athletics check. Sorry, guys.
Oh, what's happening?
Did you just cut yourself?
Yeah.
so
There is
stressed.
blood. There is this is the bloodiest episode we've ever had in many ways. All right.
People stabbing themselves.
I have a.
Terrible foreboding feeling.
I think we should fucking fight them.
But
Well,
run or fight. You have 5 seconds.
this is the time I tell you I have -1 to athletics.
I have
Can you
4
roll a
dice in
D20?
athletics.
The purple one.
Oh, thank goodness.
What are you doing?
Well, I was thinking, what's the worst
Say it.
option?
What are you doing?
I would say we do
Say
whatever
it.
the opposite of
Say
whatever
it.
that means.
Say it. That's the good choice. I don't know. You just got to make a choice.
I run.
Otherwise, you
I
lose your
run. I
round.
can't fight without Brick. I run.
Okay, you both run. What are you doing, Catalina?
Running.
Okay, that's your. Oh no! But you run first. I'm going to give you that. You got a head start. That's
Okay,
all right. But
I
these
got a
guys
1.
are pretty close.
What's
So
the challenge level?
it's an
it's
athletics
contested.
check.
Fuck
so
me.
this is guard number 1. Got 1. Guard number 2.
Great.
Got 2. 3.
3.
Got 3. So 1's a little taken by surprise. That's
2.
2 for Delvin.
5.
Oh my god!
Can I also
Critical
grab
success.
him?
Push me forward.
Oh, okay. I'll tell you what. You got 5, and they're all successes in your roll of 5.
Yeah.
Roll a destiny roll. If you get above a 12, I'm going to allow that to be a point of assist to Delvin.
You get that burst of mum energy. No!
No.
Or you can spend a destiny point.
Can I just use grip? Just grab him by the scruff of his arm.
That was your assist.
Friend the distance.
So you storm ahead. You catch up with Catalina. Meanwhile, Delvin, in his hesitation of not knowing whether he was running or fighting, is basically within reach of the guard. You're still running. He's keeping up with you, but by this point, you and one of the guards are basically met up in the middle of the alley, both running in the same direction, but there's a round of combat that's going to have to follow. Meanwhile, Catalina and Brick reach the end of the alley and make it to the back door of Eladra's house.
Take your helmet off.
Combat or running? Are you going to leave it to an endurance check to outpace him to get away, or are you going to fight?
I'm too slow. I'm gonna I go turn and look at, like, I look at both of you and I'm like, run!
If I see him left behind, I'm going to turn back for him.
But you'll be a little bit
You turn,
away.
you're standing at the door, and halfway through the alley, he's running and he shouts run and turns
Nah,
back.
fuck that. I run back towards him.
Okay.
I fight. I turn
Okay,
and
one
fight.
round of combat. Okay, roll,
What's our
roll
reflex?
reflex. He got 3.
Oh, he declares first.
He declares first. He's just lethal strike.
So he's just attacking?
Yeah.
If he's just attacking, can I, like, suddenly twist my momentum and charge back into him to get a charge bonus?
You can charge, yeah.
I'm charging.
For sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
So he gets an undefended charge. But he got a roll of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
You can do it.
Oh. Well, this is fun.
dice!
2.
2. That's 3, 4, 1, 5 ones.
Do you use any destiny
I have
points?
no destiny points. 2, 6. He gets a level 3 victory on me.
Okay, let me get on my cheat sheet. This has escalated so fucking fast. Oh my god. Level 3 victory. He disarms you.
Okay.
Both daggers.
Okay.
So immediately in one fell swoop, he's getting rid of the issue that could harm him because he seems to recognize he's facing someone that happens to know what they're doing.
Yep.
And he, in a way that actually cuts, almost like, I'm going to say cuts your pinky off on one of your hands. You lose both daggers.
I don't want to lose a pinky on a disarm. He can hurt me or he can disarm me.
It's healable.
Okay,
It's dangly.
alright.
It hits the bone. It grazes
ow.
a few of your fingers
Alright.
along the bone. Deep
Okay.
cut. There you go. I won't make you lose it.
Thank you. I don't want to be the pinky.
You don't get to dismember, but you are.
If I've taken the injury, I'll take the
Yeah,
pinky.
no, that's fair. Okay, but you lose both your daggers,
Yep.
and you get gouged along
Okay.
one of your knuckles, and
Yeah. It's
you're
quite
going
late.
to bleed a lot.
I'm glad I'm wearing.
But you haven't
gloves.
taken an injury, but you got
Yep.
no weapons. Next round of combat, what are you doing? You had to,
He declares first.
he's going to step by step take you out. So now he's going for a full trip. He's trying to get you on your back.
I pull out 2 more daggers and attack him.
Why that was mine?
1, 2.
I don't get the charge bonus this time.
Don't I get in this round if I turn back?
Okay, yeah.
Roll
Wait,
reflex.
roll reflex. He got 2. You got a high roll. So he declares first. He's going to make a trip move, but
Can I charge and flank him?
yes. Wait, hang on. No, it's
Also-
not flanking. He's facing you, but you
Also
can
have a
charge
question.
him. Yeah.
It's nighttime. How bright is it in this
So
alleyway?
it's well lit. So I did describe a beautiful glimmering moon and an open sky.
Okay.
So you can charge but not flank. He's facing you.
How many successes did he get?
Was it 2? Yeah.
2.
Oh.
Okay. Good roll.
There's 1 more dice. Okay, 5 successes.
Okay, making that a victory level 3. No. 2, 3, 4, 5. 3.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's describe how you want to play out your victory.
He like smacks these blades out of my hands, and Delvin, as his hands throw back and he momentarily looks disarmed, the right arm goes down to his boot and he just pulls a blade up, the left arm behind his lower back, and he pulls another blade around and just catches the guy, because he thought I was disarmed, so the second blade catches his spear coming in, and then the other one goes in for a... I'm going to say I catch the bottom of his blade and then flick his weapon out of his arm,
So
and I
you're
disarm
disarming
his
him in
spear.
return. All right.
And just clatter it behind me.
But his roll still stands against Brick's charging attack roll, which happens now.
Cool.
This is fun as fuck. Do you want to take your dice?
I didn't want to have to roll combat dice until at least Ainsley.
1, 2, 3, 4.
4.
4 against 2, so you get a level 2 victory.
What did Delvin get?
I got a level 3 victory, so
Yeah.
I disarmed him.
His original roll does count as defense against your charge, though. So what do? You can do a medium injury, which he could deflect off his armor, or a minor injury or stagger, or enter close combat.
Mess him up.
Perfect music for that. We never get to use this one.
Medium injury.
Okay. At which point you basically sort of you get in there with your spear and knock him about a bit. You sort of dislodge his armor a bit, but you don't injure him. But it's basically his armor point is like his armor's doing its job, but you've made him more vulnerable. He's got very heavy armor on. Just want to point that out.
So is the other one rocking up about now?
Yeah, I'm going to say next combat round, there is someone approaching from behind him who will be entering this round of combat. I'm going to roll to enter. So
Can I I'll say, Brick, you want to take the weaponed one? I think I can handle this, boy.
If you believe you can do it, but if you get hurt, I will kill you.
Well, he's disarmed and he's got his armor busted. I'm hoping I can do it.
Otherwise, you die. So.
Yeah.
okay. And I'm also going to say after this round and then the next round, you might expect a couple of people to be coming around the corner.
Yep.
Okay. So rolling for reflex. Do people remember their reflex rolls?
I'm
Mine
pretty
was
sure I got like a 4
1.
too.
Oh, yours doesn't count now.
I'm happy to re-roll against this guy.
I think everyone roll. So you two first. 5 for Delvin. 1 for Brick.
Okay.
4
So I'm
for one
still
of the guards,
fastest.
and then the new guard has 3. So Delvin's still the fastest. You declare last. Brick, you declare first, and then the 2 guards in the middle.
I'm going to head over to the other guy. I'm going to charge the other guy.
Okay. So you're charging
Meeting
up
halfway.
against the... Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm going to say next speedy person who's fully engaged in combat, now disarmed and facing Delvin.
with a dent in his armor.
Yeah, been really roughed up. Goes just full body tackle, charges forward and just like goes to deck you. That's his declaration. The next guard who sees Brick charging, storming up to him, just starts to ready himself and brace, and you can see him like anchor his spear into the ground. Well, you can't see him because you're not ready for his bracing. So he braces against your charge. And then Delvin, what do you do?
What's cat?
Well, he's just attacking me. I don't think there's any particular maneuvers I can do other than just attack him. So
Okay.
I'm going to fight.
What's
Cool.
cat doing?
Cat's probably inside now.
Well, yeah.
Should we?
We can cut away to that.
Can we keep doing it?
Do you
I
round
think
of combat?
we got to do a few rounds of combat because
Yeah.
if there's any conversations that happen indoors, it's going to take a bit of time.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
this is
for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. No,
so
that's cool,
combat
that's
is going to happen. All right, let's do rolls to start with Brick. Charge.
I'd like to use Destiny Point.
Okay, give yourself advantage.
Why is your roll so low?
5.
But that, thank goodness you
Why
used
have you
the
got so
destiny
few
point.
dice?
You're right. I have a weapon that I'm not including.
Yeah, you have like +2 dice from your weapon. Okay.
Oh.
Didn't make a difference.
Same roll.
5.
Okay, so you got 5.
Delvin's finger is bleeding.
It hasn't
Hey,
stopped.
that other guy could be dead. That's annoying. Because my last roll was on the 8 as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm
So
like,
I'm gonna-
I'm rolling more dice than you.
Next person up. This is the person attacking Delvin.
All right.
Actually, no. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah,
so he
tackle
should-
Delvin. He's
I'm
lost
hoping
his
he's lost
spear.
a bunch of dice, which is going to be spicy.
Yeah. This is his roll. Charges in to tackle you. He gets 3 successes. Delvin's roll in return.
3.
3. Okay. You're in close combat, and he is starting to try and get into some chokeholds and to
That
put
works
you
for me.
out.
I've got daggers. I can fight as normal in close combat with daggers.
Okay. Meanwhile, Brick charges. What was your roll again?
5.
Okay. And his roll is
I shouldn't have disarmed him. Should have entered close combat because you can't use a large weapon in close
brace.
combat.
That was 5. With bracing, he gets +2 wins
Yeah.
against a charging opponent. +2 wins. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Level 2 victory against Brick, which of course you're wearing armor that can negate. But at this point, the armored people who have negated armor have, I'd say, 1 point of armor left. Actually, here's a spy guard. You have 1 point of armor left. He has 2.
Yep.
He has 4. You guys have 3.
Okay.
Cool. Next round.
I'm gonna give myself 2, not 3 armor. I haven't used any though. For the reasoning that if I had more than that, I'd be taking negatives on my combat roll.
You're in.
I'm just wearing a breastplate, shahor, like you can put on degrees of guard armor, right? Like pauldrons, breastplate, but not full plate mail, right? I'm just a grey guard.
Yeah.
Bit of chain,
Yeah.
medium armor.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking anyway.
Okay. So 2.
I'll take 2 because otherwise
Yeah.
I'd have a neg 1 on combat, which I haven't been rolling.
Yeah.
So
2.
are we doing another round?
I think we are. You see off in the distance the silhouettes of 2 spire guards running in from either side, entering. This is far distance now, though, so it'll take them a couple of rounds to reach you. But the noise level is starting to be a problem.
wanted to
It was a
kill
problem
them
before,
and
but now
go.
it's like there are military shouts of
Yeah.
coordinating efforts. So next round of combat, same order of operations. Brick, what do you declare?
I attack him.
Okay.
I hope my dice don't betray me.
He is in full defensive mode against your attacks. He's not trying to put you out. He's trying to hold off until his comrades arrive to put you out. Because he can see he's against 2 hard-hitting combatants and he's trying to play the waiting game for a little bit.
Two, three.
That's a reroll.
3, 4. Okay. This might be a fucking TPK. Okay.
Hey, you did it.
Combat modifier for defending plus 2d6. So he's not going to incur a victory level. But what was your roll?
4.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He meets it and defends adequately against your strikes. Meanwhile, we have a close combat situation with an armored spire guard wrestling and getting Delvin into a chokehold, or at least that's what he's attempting.
Yep.
Boom, boom, boom. Let's roll, sir.
You first. I'm fast.
Can I have that, please?
Don't roll more successes.
Too bad. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
You enjoy
6.
this too much.
I really don't. I wanted this to be really straightforward, but the game is the game and the dice are the dice. 2, 3, 4, 5. 4. Okay.
I, unfortunately, can't roll the kinds of rolls you can roll, sir.
I can't even roll these rolls.
He's got you in a chokehold, and he's going to use that as a stagger. So you feel your windpipe be pulled against, and you are in within a round or 2 of being completely blacked out. You got one more round of combat before the others arrive. Oh my word.
Do we want to switch to see if anything changes the situation? It's
I don't think
currently
anything's going
unfolding.
to change this
I
situation.
think this is all happening too fast for you to really actually have any impact
Okay.
immediately, unless you want to do something from a distance. But there are a lot of hard to control emotions at play here, so I highly doubt your magic is going to help you right now.
I have changed and shifted the emotions of a group before.
You have 2 mana left, and these are viscerally angry people.
Okay, cool. Just
It would
checking.
take 3 mana to cool one of them down. Like, you know they're out of control.
Cool.
All right.
There's
Do
not
you
much I can
choose
think of.
to do anything? It's not the only form of magic. Yeah.
No, I know, but
Well, I'm assuming there's something happening inside, though. You're probably more busy dealing with why we sent you into the building.
you guys have.
You don't know that. You don't have a clue. We tell you to go
I'm
in the
actually
building.
going to say, like, if she gets in and shuts the door and she's like panting or whatever, there's nothing within sight that would immediately be useful, let alone relevant. There's no one around. And it's a fairly dark. There's some lighting off in the distance, sort of up in the second story, but not where you are. But you can hear the noise level raising outside.
Okay. I stop running. I turn around. And I attempt to light the fire.
in the house you're in.
Not outside. I stopped before I reached the door because I
Oh,
assume.
you already were in the door.
Oh,
You
I'm
were
in the door.
You entered the house. So
Oh.
do you exit the house? Better be quick because we're going to go back to the combat round.
I'm so scared. I'm gonna fucking kill everyone. Fuck. Okay. Yeah. No. I leave. Turn around and I.
You hear the noise raising. You step outside. You see Delvin in a chokehold with a spire guard, and you see him start to like weaken a little. And you see Brick having just tackled someone who met his tackle with a spear, which gouged his armor. They are now in the throes of combat, but it's not looking good. It's a pretty dire situation.
Cool. I attempt to light my fire.
Okay, we've got 2 dice. Okay. Okay. You click your fingers
Okay.
hard, and a strong spark emerges, and you immediately grab this ember, very small burning thing, and you hold it still. In this very intense moment, I'm going to allow you to either spend a destiny point or roll a d20
To determine
To-
a random outcome, or
to. What is your impulse? You want to light a fire.
my impulse is to light a my impulse is to frighten these people, and especially if I have a flame, I'm going to say something very loudly. Well, not very loudly, but enough that the people in the vicinity can hear me. So I kind of want them to stop what they're doing and not kill my friends, and ideally back off and go away. But I know that probably isn't going to happen.
Well, let's see. Let's let the dice decide. They've been
Okay.
really nice so far. So you
I'm
know.
not going to take the chance. I'm going to spend the destiny.
Okay, you're going to spend the destiny.
So I am out.
Okay, but in spending that destiny point, I'm letting destiny guide this moment. The universe is saying, "Ooh, this is a moment where magic is
better than
needed."
the dice.
I'm basically letting you choose a level 1 spell action for a fire type spell.
Okay.
So I'm going to sort of, in this flash moment of complete instinct and your sort of soul calling upon the needs of what it is that this magic can provide, you feel on a gut level that you can turn this into a burning flame within your hand. You can like push that into a flame that you're still holding,
Sure.
or you can quench it. You can control it. You could probably create a shape. So you could amplify it. You could shape it into sort of like thin it out and make some sort of sign or symbol,
What's
for
level
example.
2?
Ooh, good question. Bigger flame, bigger shape, bigger amplification, or bigger quenching.
Fireball.
I was thinking. Oh well, I can't tell you this.
No.
So you see,
Okay.
as you're sort of like scrambling on the ground and you feel that choking happening, and you're like, you're actually, this is like almost tap out moment. This is pretty dire. Catalina has run back out of that back door, and just like out of nowhere, she's standing, and there's this flame that's growing in her hand as she's facing in down the center of the alleyway.
I just lock eyes with you, like bulging eyes, and I'm just like, burn them! Like crazy eyes, and I'm gonna push.
Do you have any points of magic?
I'm gonna push with myself because I've
Okay.
got no mana.
All right.
So I just channel everything into just like pushing my
How
essence into
hard
her.
are you going to push it?
How hard can I push it?
As hard as you want.
Harder than I
But
did
every
before.
failure is an immediate injury level.
What's a success?
A level of magic assist. So Destiny has given her 1.
Yep.
This could be a big spell out of nowhere, and you have the power to make that happen.
Do fails also succeed, but they hurt me, or do they just do nothing?
Fails also succeed, but they hurt you.
Delvin screams, burn them, and gives you a lot.
Okay.
I'm going to say up to. Take that back. I said, actually, take it back. 2. You can roll with 2 dice. You can roll up to your actual mana pool level. You can't roll
2 6s.
No. Yeah, no, it wouldn't make sense that you can roll with 3 if you only have 2 mana. So let's just say, start again. You can roll with 2. You can get.
Watch me get 2 fails.
You jinxed it.
He took away my good roll and turned it into shit.
We'll meet halfway in the middle. We'll call it a 1. We'll call it a 1.
Thank you.
You did right. Oh, yeah, that's fair. Fair's fair. Fair's fair. But you feel almost like a piece of you tears away as you like reach forward and connect with whatever it is Catalina's doing, and it fucking hurts. It tears you apart, but you see that fire grow, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere to Catalina, like you've put everything into something and it's happening, and it's outside of your understanding. You're holding this, like, I'm going to say beach ball size ball of flame now.
Throw it!
And you know immediately you better start walking forwards or it's just going to hit the roof.
Oh, yeah.
So you're walking forwards holding this giant fucking ball of flame.
Yeah. I want to say something really cool. I can't even think of anything. Yeah, I'm just gonna.
People of Earth, lend me your power.
As are you gonna project it? Like
If I throw this, am I gonna hit these two?
It's a giant ball
We
of
don't
flame.
care. Yeah. I'm going
Or
to see.
you could do it. You're holding it.
Can I control it so that it like?
That would cost
Just
a skill point you don't have.
Yeah, okay.
So all you're doing, all you can do is hold this right now or throw it.
Burn
But
the
as far-
whole fucking
but
street.
Throwing it, it will just turn into the flame ball that it is, and it will do its own thing. You will have zero control of it once you let go of what you're holding. All you can do is hold it, but you can hold it. So you can choose to either say something and hold it, put it on something that will burn, or attack.
Oh, attack.
Delvin shouts, "Burn them!" and
Now, I'm going to say within one round, you can run and reach them and throw it past them because there are 2 guards at the mouth of the alleyway running forwards. But they're starting to like hesitate a little.
Yeah.
And you see 2 more guards behind those start to emerge. So there's 4 guards now that are in the mouth of the alleyway.
hopefully it'll engulf the whole end in fire and they won't be able to pass.
Throw it at the end. Of
Yes!
the alleyway. And I say something like, "Witness me," but not that.
Something like what? Witness me.
Yeah.
Well, as she throws the ball, and is the guy like that's holding me reacting at all to this?
Yeah, there's like this still moment in the combat where like literally everyone is just like, everyone's in exactly the same place. So I was going to pick up where I left off, but like there's definitely like a mutual pause button that everyone's sort of like.
For everyone at Fellbrook and Felton, burn bastards!
Yeah, what he said.
Delvin gave an epic quote assist. Okay. Giant. Okay, so you got 1 for free. You amplified to 2, then there's 3. I'm going to say immediate.
Yeah, you're fireproof. Your resistance to fire could have finally happened.
Well, I'm going to say she's sort of reached just being near enough to you guys that she can throw over you. Catalina flings a giant ball of fire over this group that sails like a beach ball, but a fucking terrifying one. Everyone feels that heat, and you almost feel the hairs on your head singe as it sails over you and past where the 4 people in the alleyway, before they actually have the opportunity to effectively start scrambling away, because there's only one direction they can run and they don't have a chance to get out of the way, this fireball booms and explodes, hitting this group of 4 spire guards all standing at the end of the alleyway all at once, inflicting 3 levels of injury to 4 people in one go. And they are on fire and in metal armor. So they are not chasing you anymore, but I'm going to destiny roll to see what happens to the end buildings in this alleyway.
That's a favour. They should
That's a good for us.
I was just going to say, to the advantage of the players, there is an explosion of flame, and the side of 2 buildings at the end of the alleyway are up in flames. immediately. Just like the flame has clung to the walls and the guards and the floor, and the fire is there. But now the magic that was there has, through that whole motion, and by the end of this explosion, dissipated, and now it's just fire. Almost like when you sort of see like a strong alcohol burning out. That's sort of happening all over the floor, but the walls are igniting and the guards are rolling and scrambling and hitting themselves. I'm gonna give. What was that?
well.
What was that roll for?
So that's how well Catalina is composing herself right now. And
Very
the
well.
17,
Thank
she's
you.
actually kind of like, hell yeah! Woo! So otherwise she was going to be shell-shocked and just sort of standing there. But yeah. I tell you guys to
We can't. I'm
We're
physically
in combat.
You're still in combat?
This
Okay.
is where I'm gonna destiny roll for both guards.
Okay.
20 is they pick up where they left off, but this is, I'm going to say these are exceptional circumstances. So the further from 20, the more of a shot you guys have to escape. First person holding Delvin. 6.
Nope, he's
no,
king.
yeah. No, this is.
You said
Oh.
higher to 20 is they run away. You were,
No.
is they-
I actually
didn't he?
said 20
Well,
is
it's-
we.
it's 20
I
is
should have
after
done
them.
it the
Okay, yep,
opposite,
yep.
but that's what I
I think
said.
I know that's what
So
you were
this guy's
intending to
panicking.
say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I meant, and I was thinking low is better, which is not the way we do destiny rolls, but this one's an exception.
Because tonight we're rolling like crap.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to give you. I'm going to make it so he's released his grip. You're no longer staggered, and you get a +1 win to your next move.
Yeah, because I feel like as much as it's great, we need to kill them. It's our only way out.
Yeah, that's
Because
cool,
at this point, there's no witnesses. Assuming those 3 people die, they might die. They probably will die. There's currently no witnesses. If we can quickly get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
Okay, this is guard 2, the one in combat with Brick. 10, right in the middle.
okay.
I'm gonna. He didn't have the leg up on you, did he?
No.
So you get a +1 win.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Next round of combat.
Okay, the guy who's fighting me, roll his god tier roll. I can't wait to see this.
They've both got god tier rolls. It's ridiculous.
No, but it's what he gets on the dice, it's not the dice
Oh, actually,
quantity.
That's true. But he's got both.
Base 3 plus that.
He's got the dice
plus
and the rolls.
Punches.
Yep. Okay.
Okay.
This is Delvin's
Yep.
combat roll. Or the guy against Delvin. 1, 2, 3,
Three.
4.
Four. Can fate.
Do you have any destiny points?
It's
No.
against us today.
Can fate actually help me out?
You say that.
If you had
there
the
was a giant
power
fucking
to
fireball that just sailed
Change
through
your
the air.
fate. That's a 3.
3.
Because you said I had plus
Oh,
1
yeah,
win.
yeah, yeah.
4.
What did
Okay.
he get? 4.
4 as well.
Yep.
Stab him in the back.
But I'm going to say you can escape close combat. Like, well, no, that doesn't make sense because you
It's a
have to
tie.
have a victory. So no,
Yeah,
it's a tie. You're just scuffling on the ground.
Oh,
You're-
I enter combat. Like,
Okay, you enter combat.
Yeah.
You can declare. You roll last. I'll let you
Yep.
roll
Sure,
last.
sure.
Give him a little shank, a flank and shank.
All right, now it's the person fighting Brick. His weaponed, you're weaponed. Okay.
Oh, there it is.
1, 2, 3.
Brick!
I'm
What
going
you
to use
doing?
a destiny point again.
Decapitate him!
1.
Why do you have no dice?
Advantage or
4.
4.
Why do you not have many dice?
4.
It's only 9 dice.
It's a level 1
you're-
victory.
You injured? 3 attribute, 3
Yeah.
base, 3 skill is 9, plus weapon is 11 dice.
I have 9.
How?
Because my standard roll plus my weapon is 10.
What?
My standard roll.
3 base,
Yeah.
3 attributes,
Yeah.
3 for your weapon.
2 for my weapon.
Oh, okay. So 8 plus 2 is 10. Okay.
Minus
Yep.
1.
Yep.
Because I'm injured.
You get a level 1 victory.
What did he roll?
You got 3.
3.
Level 2 victory.
And you've got a +1.
Yeah. No.
Oh, wait, no, I got an extra dice. No, I got a win.
Yeah, you get
I
a
got
Plus 1 win.
All right, so
So
then I
level
got
2
I got 5.
Yes. So level 3 victory.
Oh, because you rolled an
And you
advantage.
used that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. What do you do with a level 3 victory?
He's got no armor left? Pretty sure I reduced his armor.
He's got 2 left. You reduced it by 2. But armor doesn't defend against some other victory level options.
I know. I'm just looking for it.
There's a disarm in there.
Yeah, I'll go do the disarm.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna. Do you know what? I won't give you a roll this round.
Yeah.
Next round, you get an attack.
That's cool.
Okay. So Delvin combatant. They're just scuffling on the ground. He's got 2 victories.
I could beat 2. I could theoretically beat 2.
Also feel like,
Oh, you're on a good run
Okay,
so far.
Okay,
1,
6
2,
winning.
3,
So that's
4,
6.
5.
5 successes. What did he
Against
roll?
2.
2.
So that's a level 3 victory.
Yep.
Serious injury, please.
Okay.
No armor against close combat injuries.
You're still in
I
close
stick
combat.
a knife straight into his armor and just go, "Grr, there it is. There it is.
And you are in his spleen with a dagger. Meanwhile, in combat with Brick, can you take your dice and we'll...
Oh, I fucking finally rolled well. Oh,
So
I
you've
needed
disarmed
that.
him. So he's lost his spear, thrown off to the side in a flurry of combat. And he knows he can't wait for his friends anymore.
Yeah.
So he's going in for the kill. 1, 2. So he's trying. It's a very
It's very
distracting
scary.
fight. 3, 4, 5, 6.
Oh,
Level 4
needed it.
victory. This is so... I had no idea how you guys were to get out of this.
Catalina.
Oh my god.
We can touch tips of our daggers through the guy's torso.
It's pretty scary as a game master to have those moments where it's like this, everyone's going to die. Everyone's going to die. I don't want them to die. I'm just going to, and now they're more going to die.
As he comes into me, I slam my. As he comes in to attack me. As he comes in to attack me, I'm just gonna wait. All right. Yeah, that was bad.
Does he give you a kiss or?
Prefer he didn't.
We're in a different roleplay session.
As he comes in to attack me, I'm going to slam the butt or the haft of my spear onto the ground and literally just tilt my spear forward so that he impales himself on it,
Okay.
like through the chin.
Fatal injury. Oh, actually, no, he negates with 2 points of armor. His last 2 points of armor.
What did I roll?
He had 4 originally.
He had
so
4.
He's got 2 left.
So, medium injury. So, it happens the way you describe,
Wait, what
except...
did I roll? Didn't I roll like a 5 or a 6 and you rolled a 2?
Yeah, that
You
makes
got-
sense. And he
You're level
dropped
4
the victory
victory,
level
yeah.
too.
My bad, yeah.
So that happens. You get him right in the gut, and it goes through his plate and into the chainmail, and starts piercing through the chainmail, and it's sort of like entering, and it's an inch and a half into his gut. Not hitting anything major, but you've pierced through his entire chest plate and chain. Oh, next round, Catalina, roll your reflex. Everyone roll a new. Do you know what? I'll just let you declare first.
How far away am I from the guy?
You're now flanking the guy Delvin's fighting.
Okay, great. I'm gonna just shank him in the.
You've got a knife.
I do, yeah.
You're going to use
Yeah,
your
you're a
knife.
knife girl.
All
You're
right.
a knife girl.
Come on.
Now,
now.
is this the same round of combat?
It's not very good.
Next round of combat.
Okay, so this is a new round.
New round.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay. Save your roll.
Yep, yeah.
Let's start off with
The dude
The
who's
dude.
been stabbed.
Yeah.
Now has 3 less dice.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, wow.
He's still got 3 victory levels.
You
So
have
3
4
wins.
dice.
And flank.
Oh, no, you should have minimum have 5 for combat because you get both your attributes.
Yep.
And then
And
flanking.
And then you
your
have plus. So no, sorry, wait. Base 3 plus attributes plus 1 for your skill.
Base 3
And
plus
then-
attribute.
And then Jazza will tell you if you're flanking
Yeah.
or not.
Oh, you're definitely flanking.
Plus
It's
2
definitely
dice.
flanking. Plus 2 dice. Yep. He got
So-
3.
3.
Yep.
Oh,
I'd say
Simultaneous
let's
stab?
what was that? Sorry.
Simultaneous stab?
Sure.
Let's do it.
I got 4. Hey, the 6s look good, but it was only level 1 victory.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
6.
Six?
That's
All right,
6.
so these two are on fire and we both suck.
Yeah.
Woo!
So, you've got your dagger in him.
And in that moment, we both push into each other, and like Catalina and Delvin's face is like incredibly close together as this guy. We both inflict injuries, right?
You
He's dead.
further the injury you have by an extra point of injury or 1 point of injury. Catalina, you get a level 3 or 4. It was something. You got 6, right? And he got 3.
Yeah,
So
I got
level
6.
3 victory plus he's got 3 plus 1. So this is killing him. He won't have anything left. Like he'll die. Maybe in a 5 minutes, but he's going to die.
Great. Yep.
Where do you pierce him, Catalina?
If I'd imagine he's kind of like you've got him at the front.
I like to think I stabbed him, pulled out, and then he like staggered back in surprise, and then you just like
Yeah,
straight
right at
into
the
his
back.
back,
Yeah,
and then I
yeah,
stab him
yeah.
again in
Right.
front.
Yep.
You've both.
He's
got an
basically a
opportunity.
shish kebab.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you've made a kebab out of him. All right.
And in that moment of being really close, both like aggressively sweat pouring down and like fear and anger, I'm just like, you're a natural cat. Pull the blade out.
And then we have a spy guard fighting Brick who is disarmed, but adept, but his armor isn't going to help him now.
He's also injured.
Oh, he's also injured. How much was it again? 2, because he's staggered. Okay.
No,
cool.
he's injured.
Yeah, he did a level 4 and you reduced it by 2.
Oh, yeah. Cool. All right, this is his roll. So he goes to he goes to punch you in the face, but he's also trying to fix his footing. He got 3 levels of 3 wins.
Ooh, 1, 2, 3,
4. Is that level 1 victory?
So level 1 victory, stagger or injure.
Rob's like, the one thing I didn't want to do is be outshone in combat.
Staggers +2 or -2 for the next round.
Injured.
Just knock 1 off him, or you can knock 2 off him for your next attack.
Injured.
Okay. All right. How do you injure him? To the 1th degree.
I was just assuming he was still impaled and I was driving.
He is, and he's like punching, but trying to fix his footing. And I'm going to say he yanks it out, but he's like gripped his side.
If he's going to try and yank it out, I'm going to try and push him back with it. Like, still in him, pushing him
Okay,
back.
so then that fight is happening, and that struggle injures him further,
Yep.
but it doesn't impale him further.
So this is next round again, yeah?
Yep.
So while...
He got 2 victory points.
Cat, I've got the highest reflexes, right?
Yep.
So Cat is kind of struggling with the fact that a guy's dying on a knife on your
Oh,
hand.
yeah. Oh, yeah.
Delvin just deftly, threat assessment, pulls straight out, spins around to the one that Brick's fighting and joins that fight.
Okay.
Can I go up straight behind him while you're fighting?
I can say you can only hit him in this round if you throw something.
Are the burning ones still moving?
They're writhing. Yeah. They're not in a combat mode right now. They're in an emergency trying to get out of being on fire mode.
I understand
Yeah,
that.
cool.
But they've also seen...
far away are they?
The 3 points of injury they had was from the immediate explosion. They are all currently cooking.
They're going to die, right? They're
They're
going to
cooking
die.
in big metal suits of.
It's a
like,
medieval setting and they're on fire. and
They're
full
all
burns.
potbelly stoves, and they're all the fuel inside it.
And the beauty is they can't scream.
Yeah, it's great.
Oh my god.
This is just so much
I
more
don't
than I was
throw,
bargaining
but I
for.
get in for next round.
Okay,
if-
getting in for next round. Now it's Brick versus this dude. His roll. Oh no, I rolled
You-
before.
you're on 2.
I rolled before. He got 3. 2. Okay, sure. 2.
I'm very bad. Oh my god.
Is that
You
the...
just
Yeah,
die.
one more point of
I'm going
injury.
to keep him on the spear, slowly pushing him towards the wall.
Yep. It's sort of like, are you aiming further back to where the fire is going, or you're shifting him?
No, I'm going to stick him to a wall.
Yeah. Okay. So you've angled and sort of heading
Yeah.
him into the wall.
And
1 more point of injury.
I've got this.
Delvin steps in.
Okay, next round. So he's up against the wall. You've
Yep.
arrived.
I'm just going to attack.
Yeah. I'm going to let you go first because you're the quickest. Yeah.
5. So Delvin, as you're spearing him up against the wall,
I'll give him a. Oh,
so
take
that's
that
level
2.
2. Delvin just walks up.
That
and-
was that with flanking?
no.
Add 2. Do 2 rolls.
So it's a level 3 victory, level 3 victory.
Okay.
Or maybe it was level 2. Was it 2 or 3? I think it was 2.
2.
So with a level 2 victory, Delvin just waltzes up to the wall, like straight beside him, fully, like briskly, and just knife in the neck and out. Probably doesn't hit the arteries he wants to hit and stuff, but just in and out in one thing while he's up on the spear, and then just turns to you and says, "He's done. We gotta go."
Okay.
Yeah.
And as you walk away, he's like up against there's still a spear sort of in his side, and he just starts sliding back. Like, it's almost like still even reflexively, he's trying to call out some sort of command, but nothing comes out. And you run over the corpse of the spire guard that was killed in the recent kerfuffle with Delvin, that Catalina finished off, and you will run off in the direction of...
Yeah, we going to the house
Fire or
because
house?
there's no witnesses.
Yep.
We could hide in that fucking house.
Yep. Going. Yep.
Or we could run out where all the guards are going to be rushing to here.
House.
Okay.
There's
Follow your lead.
I tell you that there is no one in the vicinity of that doorway.
I
far as I
do
know.
have to give you, because Delvin loves making his last comments. Delvin looks down at the man who's dying and tries to talk. Spits on his helmet. Long live the king. And then turns around and runs back to the house.
And as you enter into the door and slam it shut behind you, everyone panting, smelling of charred metal and sweat and blood. Everyone turns around and sees
Can I grab my daggers on the way through?
you got a couple of daggers back. Yeah, you're right.
Okay, good,
Yeah.
because I only lost 2. So I got the 2. I got the
Turn
couple,
around
but-
and see a wide-eyed, dark-skinned Phelan woman holding a glass of wine and wearing robes, sort of tucked into herself, who says, "And what on earth is going on?"
Take the helmet off.
I think that's where we need to end this episode.
We're not dead!
Wow! Holy sugar!
Well done, guys.
Tonight on I Shouldn't Be Alive.
And we went so over time, we can't even have our usual after party, but I really feel like we need a debrief after that one.
God!
Oh my God. That was just so much. But if that wasn't the funnest combat I've experienced since we've come back into coaching,
my
I don't know what it was.
I do have to say, though, out of character, of course, but
Yeah, everyone
Gimli?
everyone gets a destiny point. You all get a destiny point. Yay! One destiny point, one destiny point, one destiny
One for
point.
you. One for
Holy
you.
crap.
Gimli?
Oh, our
that's
patrons!
3.
But Dark Fox!
Professor X.
Inverted Shadows, AJ Macy.
Good luck.
And Tris.
And Time Blink.
Time Blink?
Time Blink.
Kiranon? That's their minis. Damn it.
Sorry, I clicked it. I'm like, we'll come back to that. And then I forgot that I clicked it
Thank
and it
you to our
takes 10,
patrons.
10 seconds to
It's
show
got a
up.
delay and then it comes in
Yeah,
with all the
sorry.
speed we waited for. We
Thank
probably
you,
need to
patrons.
fix that, but we love you
We
guys.
can't stay to hang out in the after party after, but everyone who's checking this out, we every week we hang out for half an hour with our patrons after our stream, and we don't get to this one because we were all just so in that and we're over time. But holy crap, that was a lot. Yeah, you guys have 5-10 minutes for this next role play, start of next round. But holy crap,
That's cool. That's cool.
Wow.
I
What
really
a good
need to
place
get
to end it.
across. Gimli. That's 3, 0, and 4. Aragon over here took out 4. I got 3. Oh, so Gandalf over here took out 4. And Brick got none. I did kind of kill steal. That was a bit of a kill steal, let's be honest. I'll give you that. It's 2-1.
That was
All right.
amazing. Thank you so much for watching, guys. We'll see you next week.
Bye.